What's going on, everyone? What's happening? All right, everybody's jumping in there today. What we got in there today? There you go. Testing 1, 2. Nothing. Hello. Okay. Here we go. I was gonna say what's going on here. The computer that I'm monitoring this on. This thing's bothering me here. Sweatshirt. That I was monitoring, it wasn't on live. I'm saying, why can't I hear any audio? What's going on here? That's a little better. Alrighty then. Hope everybody's been safe. I can see you guys are saying the same thing here. Robert S. is in there. Hello, Chris. How are you and the family? Great to be on here on a wonderful Friday. Yeah, it is actually pretty sweet. The weather's good. I got out of work a little bit earlier, and thank God for that. Been busy as heck for the past 3 weeks to a month, so starting to slow down a bit, which is good. Yeah, we're doing good here. Photography, Light and Magic. Hi, Chris. I hope you and the loved ones are safe and well. Oh, and you too. This coronavirus is so scary. We are locked down in the UK. Yeah, a lot of people like that. Even the UK, of course. I mean, I'm sorry, Italy, of course, and we've got China and all that. And now supposedly we surpassed that. I'm not sure I believe all that, but okay. Trippy, figure, what's going on? Greetings from New York City. Stay safe and stay healthy and keep 6 feet away from others. I love you guys. Well, here's the funny part. You know, being that I stock crew in a big grocery chain, it's kind of hard to do that. And let's just put it this way. Since the last hangout that we had, I mean, I had like this sore throat from hell, right? A little bit of a runny nose and everything else. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, no, this ain't going to happen. So I did my best to get it down and everything pretty normal. Not too bad, right? So we're good here. But yeah, it's definitely nothing to play with. What's going on there, Photography, Light and Magic? You said they are taking over 65 and over, I guess, ventilators and giving them to the younger patients in Spain. The older ones are sedated and left to die. Short of ventilators. So sad. Yeah, it is. It's sad, period. I mean, when you hear about this, it's just heartbreaking, because it's, when you think about that, you go, man, that's just, that's no way to go. Let's just put it that way, What's going on there, Noodles? Yeah, Photography, Light and Magic. I was just saying that America has now basically overtaken China, right? From confirmed cases of the coronavirus. Between China and Italy, we supposedly have beat them. I'm not sure I believe all that, but I got a little something to add before we actually jump on space news, so in a little bit, and then we'll just go right to the space news, or just talk about the videos that I just did this week, stuff like that, because I know a lot of you guys don't want to be hanging on that coronavirus stuff too much. But it is important. I mean, it's everything you do now. Hell, you can go on space.com and everything is like a coronavirus here. Like they just had I don't know if it was a SpaceX or what it was, but it says, despite the coronavirus outbreak, they still launched blah, 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 blah. So, it's no matter what you do, it's intertwined somehow into everything that we do lately, right? Noodle says maybe 3 months of socialism every year to avoid seasonal flu might reset the best parts of capitalism. Yeah, well, to work for we the people, it will clean the air too. We earn quality time off. Yeah, I mean, to me, it just seems like, it should. Yeah, I mean, it should be like, it's almost should be like a timeout for everybody, right? But it doesn't matter. I mean, we have, like I said, all the essentials, which is me is part of the essential. And what I find intriguing is that nobody gives a shit. They're all still out running around, hanging out with each other and everything else. I'm going, man, that's not the thing to do, guys. Stay home. If they told me tomorrow and they said, hey, listen, your job's going to be closing down 2 weeks. Listen, you don't have to tell me twice. I'm already ripping out from my parking space out to the parking lot and going home. I'm all set with that. I'm good. I'd go home, got the food, got everything I need there. I'm good. I mean, I might walk around, my property or whatever, walk around a little bit, stay away from people and just stay home. I'd be perfectly happy with that. A lot of people are not doing that, and that's the key to this. The government's not going to stop this for you guys. You got to do it yourself. Just stay home. If you've done enough shopping, stay home. Enjoy your time off. Most people are like, oh, I got to get back to work and Well, not everybody's saying that, but there are people out there saying, "I got to get back to work now." Maybe due to your income, and you need money. I get it. I'm all for it. But on the other side of the token, what would be worse? This really getting out of control to the point where you don't have a job. Everything's completely crippled. The country's completely crippled, or the world is, because it continued to spread because nobody's listening. Nobody's heeding the warnings. Lucky Mo, what's going on? He said, "Hi, everyone. The dedicated few are here already." Yes, absolutely. Renee von Oosterhout, what's going on? You said, "Hi, Chris. Hope everything is fine with you and your fam." So no Saturday night hangout. Nope, we're here today. Like I said, we've been doing it um, for Friday for now. We could actually change over to Saturday, but it's just that weird thing. We didn't know. Believe it or not, I didn't even know if I was going to be here today because we were expecting this. The truck on a certain day was supposed to be today, which we did have one, but it was supposed to be like this incredibly large truck that we weren't going to be able to finish getting out on the shelves and everything else. But we were able to knock it out pretty quickly, had extra hands in it this time. So it helped, right? So, but I didn't even think I was going to make it today because I thought for sure, I was going to be still working at this time. Thank God I wasn't. Mark Matheny, what's going on? He said, "Hi, Chris and everyone." Renee Cruz, what's happened? What's happening? Radio Shack? Oh. Arts and Crafts, what's going on there? A and C. Hey, Chris. Hello, everyone. Good to see you in the Arts and Crafts. The Rubicon, Tim Pools, Hums Budsman. At least Corona Chan hasn't visited Mars yet. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to tell, though. We could just take it with us, right? And bring it up there. Which, who knows, right? It's hard to tell. Oh, this thing just jumped on me here. Let me see. This thing just jumped on me here, so I'm going to try to go back to where I was. Rolando Alves is in there. What's going on? Good to see you in there, Rolando. Dave Jones. He said, "Hi, Chris and everyone. Hope you're all well and keeping safe. Got to go. Take care." And Dave from the UK. All right, Dave. Thanks for popping in and saying hello. Stay safe yourself, right? No, we seem to be fine here there, Mark. I don't see it actually doing it on my end as far as any buffering. At least at the moment, it seems to be okay. I don't know if yours is doing it a lot or whatever. Keep in mind, too, if a lot of you guys are staying at home, this is what's weird. I mean, if you're in a certain area, right, and everybody's staying home, streaming stuff, doing everything else, you may actually slow the overall internet down on your street, road, whatever you may be on. So don't be surprised. And depending on the speed you have, it can really impact it, right? Renee Vaughn says, "Okay, full liftoff. Sweet." Third Eye Open says, "Hi, folks. What's going on there, Third Eye Open?" Photography Light Magic. Now would be a good time to vacate the planet. I'm all for going to Mars. Anyone else? So, man. Salamda, rather. You are good to go. We have sound. Dennis Bailey said, "Hey, what's up, all?" And greets from New Hampshire. What's going on, Dennis? Noodle says, "Pop the like button. Audio good." That's right. Slam it down, guy. Bam. Carol Ogo. Hi from Warrington, UK. What's going on, Carol? Good to see you in there. John Beck says, "Wash your hands and be safe." Yeah, I mean, we carry around the little sanitizer things. I mean, you almost got to do it all the time, right? And here's the crazy part. People don't think of this. It's like, people are like, "Oh, you don't understand. I work for the post office and everything else," which is true. It's very dangerous. In fact, my daughter works for the post office. But keep in mind, we're getting our stuff from North Carolina, and they're bringing it up here. So if they got it, we're handling it and everything else. So I'm using that stuff like, yeah, hand sanitizer big time. Carry it in my pocket. Oh, yeah. Got to have it. LJV third says, sounds good this end. Oh, sweet. Lucky Mo, you're saying the same thing. Let's all go to Mars and evacuate this planet. Might have to. Robert Gilstra. I always have a problem saying that last name. It's just kind of the way they're all worded. You got the IJL. It kind of like mixes in. Say, hey, Chris, good to see you again. Greetings from Amsterdam. Well, good to see you too there, Robert. Richard, he said, hi, Chris. Hope you're good. I'm actually doing good, Richard. I hope you're doing the same, good as well and doing the same. X15, what's going on? We're here, Chris. Oh, yeah. Pete Ferrero, you said, hello, Chris, from a totally messed up New York State. Good to see you. You're well. Nice vids this week. Oh, I appreciate it, Pete. Yeah, stay safe, man. Just stay home. I mean, if I was in states like yours, I mean, even here in my own neighborhood, there's somebody who's got it. And it's just crazy how you just have to keep your distance. Distance is everything. Like I said, the government's not going to do squat for you. The only thing they're doing is they're trying to come up with different tests so they can test you to see if you do have it. Well, what's the best way not to have it? Well, keep the rules 6 feet apart. Even if you're hanging out with your buds, just stay away from them. You know what I mean? I would just assume stay away from people, period. Best thing for me anyway. Because nobody wants that shit. I'll be honest with you guys. I think I already had it. Because before this was actually mentioned in the news, I had like 2.5 weeks of this. I had like a slight fever. It felt really bad. Basically all of the symptoms of this, right? And, I was taking like emergency. I take that quite often anyway, even before the coronavirus. And I was taking 1,000 milligrams in the morning and one at night. And like I said, then I had this since last hangout. I had, like I said, the sore throat from hell. And let me tell you something, that's not fun. But I actually thought I had strep or something. I was like, oh, I'll take care of this. Don't worry about nothing. And did. So seemed to be okay. The only thing I'll get a scratchy throat if I talk for a long time. A lot of people get like that if they're having a conversation with their friends, doing hangouts with friends. And you'll end up with getting a kind of weird scratchy throat because you're breathing in and out so much that you get dry throat and get scratchy, right? 1225, Venny. It is very bad in Italy. 919 deaths today. Very sad how people die because of government's ignorance all over the world. Well, I'm going to get into that real quick, and you're going to see what I'm saying, and it may anger a whole lot of yous. So, yeah. Third Eye Open says, haven't watched today's vid yet, but will. I appreciate it there, Third Eye Open. Melinda Norch. Hi, Chris. Hello, everyone. What's going on, Melinda? Good to see you in there. Mr. Gossamer, what's going on? In a time of war, decisions need to be made on whether someone can be saved or not. Sad but true. And that is the sad part, right? And you just hate to see that. It really is sad. But, what do? Do they let everybody die, or do they, I don't know. It's a sad thing all the way around as far as I'm concerned. FC Mackin says, hey, Chris. Oh, hey, guys, rather. Frank M. What's going on, Frank? MG Toe, what's going on, man? Good to see you in there. Thumbs up, everyone, he says. Bam. Capitalism can be tuned. Tune it now, Noodle says. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right about that air pollution. They were talking about how they had a satellite view of both two things. One, the emissions have dropped because people are heeding the warnings. They're staying home. And two, they're seeing this growth of lights on the ground. So it's like people are really staying home more than ever. And that's what you should be doing, right? Just stay the hell home. It's not even worth it. It's better to be home. And you're saying, listen, like right now, if I lost 2 or 3 weeks to a month without a pay, I'd be okay. Unscathed, no problem whatsoever. Enough food, I wouldn't even have to go out. And that's the way you should have it. You know what I mean? You should have enough in your savings so where in the event that this kind of thing does happen, you're pretty much okay, so, but, you got to do it. Some people just say, man, I just can't sit in the house. You probably should, though. I agree with you, photographer like Magic. You said the governments are lying about this the same way they lied about Mars and the moon. F them. Well, I agree. Totally agree. And you know what? It's unfortunate that, that this kind of stuff goes on and it's just lying to the people. LGV third says origin China. But was it really? Yeah, we're gonna get into that in a little bit. Robert Zilstra says, let's assume Corona is cooked up in a lab to let the world population give up their freedom and privacy because we all get a chip implanted and cash money will be forbidden. Total control by the cabal. Well, I mean, there's always some kind of weird, there's got to be a motive behind it, right? That's the way I look at it. And, so you got to say to yourself, what's the motive? And it may be something simple, might be something more complicated. Like, in other words, hey, look what's going on over here, but just avoid what's going on in this hand over here. So, yeah. Notice has got endless beans now. Roommates stay 6 feet away or more, depending on how many beans you eat, right? Third Eye Open says, I'm isolated, so young grandson won't be here for a while. Well, sometimes that's what it takes, man. Just keep yourself safe. It's not even worth being out and then catching this piece of garbage. It really isn't. Elohim Dalef says, less China Syndrome 2020, more research, please. NASA and China Syndrome can use words and CGI. Even when it's fake, it's real. Flu and coronavirus are the same thing. Otherwise, NASA has been honest. Well, I don't think NASA has anything to do with it as far as lying, as far as that. Now, we do know as far as the CGI in, whether it be JPL, NASA, they're all affiliated together, right? They have lied about that as far as CGI manipulations and obfuscations of photos. That's been proven over and over again in the videos that I make. And a lot of photos people look at themselves. They don't even have to watch my videos. They can see this. But yeah, the governments know what's going on with this. Just trust me on this, and I'm going to clue you in a little bit. Miss Blanco, what's going on? I know. What'd you say? Only 18 thumbs up, man. Got to slam that, man. Slam them thumbs up. Carol Ogo, he said, what is your thoughts on biological warfare? Bingo. Oh, yeah. Lucky mother. This COVID-19 is just like a flu, the way the Martian ruins are just rocks. Pretty much, right? Randy Coates. Now they're saying it's going after certain blood types. I heard the same thing, but I don't think that's true because I'm hearing both sides. They're saying, no, that's not entirely true. Now, it's hard to tell, meaning, is it going after just, all the other types and just kind of leaving the other ones alone? I think it has a lot to do with your immune system, of course. If you got a weak immune systems or you had, like I said, they say, had some problems previously, whether it be, COPD, heart problems in the past, it just makes you weaker and susceptible to this kind of thing. That's all. I don't think anybody's really safe from it per se, right? Alton Krause, he said, I sent a message to your Facebook page a while ago because I couldn't remember why email to send it to. Oh, okay. Mars Photos Anomalies, which look like there's an alien. Oh, okay. Like I said, I've been so damn busy. I haven't been able to do anything. And we may actually get lucky. We're supposed to work tomorrow, but I may not have to now. Said, we're not going to probably get this next truck. When we get, I don't know. Well, if we can stay home tomorrow, it'd be awesome. So, I don't know. Mark Matheny said, hit that right on the head, warfare. Noodles, whatever happened to Caddy? Mr. Chris. Caddy, Mr. Chris. I don't know. Lucky Mullen says, asked, has anyone compiled a list of Martian symbols, letters, glyphs somewhere and tried to translate them? Please post links. If not, would be interesting to put your community on this as a project. Yeah, that would be pretty interesting. I know some people have seen like these weird either writings or glyphs or something like that on there, and they've seen some pretty crazy stuff. So, yeah. To try to put them all together. Well, see, that would have to start by now or by a video that we may remember and then try to go back to it, right? So you can do that. But other than that, I had to go from this point on and then try to do that. Autographs, he said, no, it's actually just Mars Anomalies at AOL.com. Andrew Munchkin, what's going on? You said, hey, Chris, what's happening? Alien Tenno, what's going on, man? He said, I wonder who they're going to cover up chemtrailing with a lack of light. Hmm, interesting, yeah. I'm not following that, Noodles. I'm trying to, maybe I'm just not catching on here, but you're saying Peter, Chris. Fake clouds in the from the UK, what's going on? You saying hi? What's going on? Jason McVeigh is in there. Hey, Chris and everyone, hello. Hit the like button, please, people. Bam. That's correct. You said which email autocorrect. Oh, okay. Yeah, like I said, it's Mars Anomalies at AOL.com, so that'll help you. Um, I don't know, Noodles. That's a good one. All right. Yeah, to be truthful, haven't even read up on it or anything. You said Peter C from Kiss. Okay. Disappeared. Did he go solo? I'm not sure. Truthfully, I haven't really been keeping up to it. I have to look into that. I'd be curious. Robert S says, anyone else getting lag? I don't know. Anybody else getting lag on this? Andrew Munchkin, you said, I'm glad you are on tonight. I enjoy the live streams. You do a lot. I appreciate that, Andrew. Neil Homer, you said, hi, Chris. Hope you're well. I am doing quite well. Thank you, Neil. Hope you're doing well as well. Well as well. Yeah, Robert. Yeah, because you're answering the question. You're saying, no, it's not that. It's just a lot of traffic online. And that's the thing. Everybody's, I don't know if you guys notice this, but like, let's say on a normal week and everything else, you come home and maybe on a Saturday or Sunday, it's like everybody's streaming. So everything kind of slows down. It's hard to stream. So if you got a decent internet, mine's pretty decent. It's not super, super fast like, fiber optics, but it is pretty decent, for what it is. Alien Tennis says, my night sky is crystal clear here in Chester, UK. Stars are twinkling like gems. Imagine that. Daryl Harrod, yeah. I'm getting lag, but my daughter's on her phone. Yeah, it depends too. It's funny because my sister every now and then want to stream and everything else, but her sons are in the other room. They're literally playing games online, and you know how much bandwidth that takes. I mean, it's insane how much it takes. Jason McVeigh said, no lag here in Kokomo, Indiana. Mr. Gossamer, thank you very much. Appreciate your support, man. You are a pioneer, Chris. Keep it up. Well, I appreciate that. I don't know about the pioneer, but we are trying to just just pull these things apart. Like I said, I like to use the term. It's like we're looking at, it's like a crackerjack box. You never know what you're going to expect when you open these photos, right? The photos or these pans, because they're basically photo stitch, right? So it's cool to be able to do that and see some crazy stuff in there. Well, I mean, Watcher, what's going on? Good to see you in there, man. Yes, buffering all the time. This doesn't seem to be doing on my end. And usually, see that pinwheel in your photo in the video itself, and you'll see it actually doing that. So that happens. Let me check this out for you guys. All right. All right. Mark, you said mine is still buffering. I can still watch just the circle going around. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. So it's kind of still doing it. It's probably like just keeping up, just barely enough, right? Lucky ball. I wonder if the real Jimmy Roberts is here secretly watching. Well, he doesn't have to secretly watch, right? It's all one big family here. Oh, this thing jumped on me again. All right, let's see. Alien Tenno says two trolls in. Yes, but two trolls out. See ya. What's tonight's conversation going to follow? Well, we're going to have, if anybody wants to start a conversation about whatever the videos or whatever. Just to give you guys a quick one, we're going to spend maybe, I'm just going to tell you real quick. The coronavirus is actual, it's a bio weapon, period. I'll give you guys a video you guys can watch, and it's basically from Francis Boyle, is a professor of international law at the University of Illinois College of Law. He drafted the U.S. domestic implementing legislation for the Biological Weapons Convention, known as the Biological Weapons Anti-Terrorism Act of 1989. This was approved unanimously by both houses of the U.S. Congress and is signed into law by President George W. Bush. Surprise, surprise. In the exclusive interview given to Geopolitics and Empire, Dr. Boyle discusses the coronavirus outbreak in Wuhan, China, and the biosafety level 4 laboratory, which is the BSL 4, from which he believes the infectious disease escaped. He believes that the virus is potentially lethal, well, we know that, and an offensive biological warfare weapon or dual-use biowarfare weapons agent genetically modified with a gain of function properties, which is why the Chinese government originally tried to cover it up and is now taking drastic measures to contain it. The Wuhan BSL-4 lab is also specially designed or designated World Health Organization, which is, or WHO, research lab, and Dr. Boyle contends that the WHO, or the World Health Organization, knows full well what is occurring. Now, I'll give you this. This is from a channel I actually follow. Let me see here. Actually, this is not, it almost seems like he's got a mirror channel then. This is from Travel with Sudip, I guess his name is from India. But I'm going to give you the link to that and just watch this. It's about 8 minutes and 53 seconds long. And he's talking about this. And basically, just like the SARS and AIDS, they're actually engineered. And so this coronavirus is nothing more than a SARS, a modified SARS and other influenzas kind of modified together. And it's basically a bioweapon. It says Professor Francis Boyle updated on coronavirus bioweapon. So I'm going to give you guys a link to that. When you get a chance, you can check it out. Like I said, it's only 8 minutes, so you can watch it after or whatever. And check that out. Hey, Mr. Mike Hoover, what's going on, man? Good to see you there. Thank you very much for your support, as always. Cat-eyed Chris, brother, seriously, your skills are much appreciated. Well, I mean, I think it's like everybody else. Everybody else is starting to do this too, and it's awesome that you guys are doing this. What it is that when you see the photos, it's almost like now you guys can pick this out. It's like easily, right? It's like you can just look at it and go, "Oh, I see this now." And that's what it took me a while to see this too. I had to stand back, try to see which way to, bring these things out, and try to get these things to pop. And now people are starting to see this more. You guys have been telling me, "Oh man, I can see this so much easier now. All I can do is look at the picture now." And because the way you point it out, now I'm starting to see it too, and then it's so much easier. So, so everybody else is starting to do the same, right? Again, Mike, appreciate you support, man. Let me see. Oh, get that one rolling back where it was. All right, let me jump down here. Whoop, they just went crazy on me here. The other thing is, too, I wanted to mention coronavirus. Get this. It is patented. Okay? Just got to look it up, guys. Google patents, and it shows right here the patent invention provides a live attenuated coronavirus comprising a variant replicates gene encoding polyproteins comprising of a mutation in one or more of non-structural protein, NSP10, NSP14, NSP15, and NSP16. The coronavirus may be used as a vaccine for treating and preventing a disease such as infectious bronchitis. But the way they talk about it's engineered to begin with. So if it's engineered or modified, then clearly they have a cure for it. So what does it mean to me? What does it mean to me? I think it's a way to just curve the population. How many has it killed worldwide so far? And you can see application the US 15/328 179 events. I'm sorry, 328,179 events. And it says priority to GBGB 1413020.7A. And that was from the application for the for this patent was in 2014. And then, of course, it just goes on up to 20, and it says anticipated expiration date is 2035, July 23rd. So when you read this, I mean, it's like they clearly know what this thing is. And it tells you everything, field of invention, background to the invention, all this other BS. If they modified this thing or genetically, whatever they did to it, to make it a weapon, whatever, you know they got the cure for it. Just plain and simple as that. So they could probably put the stop to it just like that. Who knows? I mean, here's the other thing too. Pure speculation on this, of course. How do we know? Is like, can they invent some kind of a virus that if they let out a certain radio wave, that it would literally neutralize it? Is it possible they could do something like that? I think so. Why not? It's like a certain vibration would kill off the virus. Who knows? How do we know? They could just put the kibosh just like that and stop it. You know what I mean? Then you start to see a decline in it and it starts to go down. But I mean, if you do the math and how many people, let me see if I can find this. Let's see. Total confirmed 586,140. Okay. That's confirmed. And of course, it'll tell you how many people, you can go on that site, like I said. And it's just crazy how much they got this, guys. I mean, if they can patent this thing, they got a cure. But they also say, like I said, it was engineered like SARS. Again, it was a bioweapon as well as AIDS. Imagine that. So how many people has AIDS taken out since it's been, we'll use the term invented or created, right? How many? How many people? And still doing it. Even if they have like a, let me get this right. Don't save. How do we know that, they didn't have the cure a long time ago? Now they got something that'll like say stabilize it and you can be all right and whatever else is other crap. But I'll give you this right here. Even though it says like it's like they claim it's like a cure, but wait a minute. You'd have to have it first to be a cure or whatever. You have to be able to simulate it. In other words, to make it and basically an antivirus, right? So they give you the shot, the vaccine. It's basically a small piece of the coronavirus so that that your body builds an immunity to it. So they have to actually put the actual coronavirus into you. This happens to every flu season. People go, oh, I don't, this, the doctors say, well, that's not true. Every time you get a shot, an influenza shot of vaccine, you don't get it. That's BS. They're literally putting it in your body. So the people who have a weaker immune system, guess what happens? They get it. So it's no different. What's going on there, Peach Vlogs? Good to see you in there. Roy Searles, I believe that as well. You said I saw that video on that. Yeah, absolutely. Cut down the population. If you can wipe out more people than children being born today, it's like, boom, you can cut down the population. Hell, I remember hearing there's like, a couple women that were born that actually had children that were born with the coronavirus. She had it, and of course, she passed it on to her child. Mr. Gossamer, yeah, the way this gentleman talks about it, it was literally in a lab in North Carolina. This is where it gets crazy. So they were doing some work on this particular, I don't know if it was the actual coronavirus per se. I forget what he says, but you can listen to the video. And what he said was they took what they were doing as an experiment on something, and then they got one from, I'm trying to remember where the other place was. I just watched it briefly, to be truthful with you guys, just before I came on. And they said what they did is they took both of these, I don't know if they're just research, right? From North Carolina and somewhere else, and they put it together, and then they put it with the influenza virus, and they modify this thing to make it what it is today. What the hell? But think about it. If you're gonna, create havoc on the world, you don't have to use bombs, guys. You don't have to use any of that crap. Simple silent killer. There you go. You said evidence starting to build that yes, it did. Now, data showing that some folks with no Chinese connection but did have U.S. travel caught the virus. Yep, absolutely. Oh yeah, Limey Watch. Yeah, like you said, we all know who the troll is. He needs to get a life. The sad man, the Joker he is. Oh yeah, I mean, I don't even pay no mind to it. I think it's comical actually. I love the fact that they can actually take their time out of their own time just to try to trip up, like a live feed. What for? It's not hurting anybody. It's not doing anything. It's like let them play. Yeah, we actually can do that. Let's see. This is an interesting article on space.com, and I'll give you guys this because they usually have like all kinds of space news. And it says, are China moon missions a threat to the U.S.? Space experts don't think so. So let me see if I can get this up here. It says, what is it? U.S. fears that China could set up a moon base for spying do not line up with the country's statements about its space program, according to security experts. China's work in space has hit headlines these past few months, and not fast, past few months as NASA's authorization bill for the fiscal year of 2020. Well, this thing's in the way here. Not sure why that is, but it is. Year 2020 proceeds through the government's approval process. The House version of the bill passed in late January rather. Let me make this a little bigger. It's way the hell up there. Okay. Called for the National Security Council to coordinate assessment of the space exploration capabilities of the People's Republic of China, including both any threats to the United States assets in space, and China's plans to partner with other countries. Well, the thing is, remember I was telling you guys that they wanted to build like almost like warships out in space, right? Something like you would see in the ocean, but obviously it'd be for space. They want to have like I don't know what kind of weapons on this thing or whatever. Yeah, I mean something. Wouldn't surprise me if think about it. If you can build a base on there, I mean, you literally can just tell any country, listen, we could just bomb you straight from the moon, straight to your country, just take care of you. They don't even have to try to fly from one, country to another. But to me, it's like even if you sent some kind of laser, EMP would be hard to guard against. But as far as like a laser or something like that, they can literally just right from the moon into here. I mean, of course, it'd have to be something severe, something very powerful to do that. But yeah. On this day in space, March 27, and then it says 1989, Phobos 2 mission to Mars moon ends in failure. Yeah, that's the one. I think that was the last one. I think Phobos 1 literally flew by and it didn't do its mission at all. And the second one, I believe, that's the one they had, the last photo they had, which looked like a cigar-shaped UFO, a shadow on Phobos moon itself. And that's the last time they heard of the actual Phobos satellite. So that was pretty interesting. You guys can look that up. And they actually come out talking about it. The Soviet Union was talking about that, saying, listen, this is the last photo we have. And you can see what this looks like, this oval shadow on the actual moon surface. And that's the last they heard of it. So I find it pretty interesting. Mr. Wayne, thank you for your support. I do appreciate you, sir. You said, Chris, thank you. And keep spreading the word. Well, that's the whole idea, man. It's like, everybody's doing the same now, which I love the idea of you guys getting into this stuff as well. And that's what it's all about. When I see people saying, I've gotten Photoshop now, I'm doing this stuff now. I'm looking into this a lot more myself now, really scrutinizing it. And my job's done. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? Massanissa, caffeine. I'm not caffeine rather. Hi to everyone. What's going on? Good to see you in there. Yeah, real quickly, 1225 Venny, you said, but I have a question. If it is a biological weapon, shouldn't there already have a cure for it before it even break out? Well, you can bet they do. But what's the fun in that? You can't kill off enough people if you already have the cure out. Can't do that. So that's the way they look at it. Let's curve it a little bit, and we'll send it out. We'll take everybody. Mimi reacts. What's going on? Good to see you in there. Jonah Restrick, he said, reports are saying that the virus was in Italy in October. That's when it was meant to be in China only. Well, see, that's what I'm saying. It's just like now that this stuff starts to come out, we're going to start to see the real truth of this thing. Now, the way this guy talks about it, this professor, whatever he is, and you can see he's been in there, and they try to keep him out of the public eye because he's actually researching this stuff and looking into patents and everything else. And he knows this stuff is actually engineered. It's actually been put together in a petri dish or whatever, right? Mars and Moon channel. He said, hello, Chris. What's going on there, Mars and Moon? Mars or Moon. Frank, you said the virus is a splice. No doubt about it. Yeah, I mean, all they're going to do is just put like different pieces to this thing and just become like this super virus. And like I said, it happens like almost every year, right? I mean, there's always something outbreaking. How many people does it kill every year? Think about it. I don't know if you guys actually jumped on that, but NASA's Perseverance Mars rover will carry 10.9 million names to the red planet, mine being one of them. You get that little ticket. You can actually sign a little, it's like your name will go on to this. In particular, it's like this little box in there. In fact, I can actually give you guys this link. This is pretty cool. The monikers will be stenciled onto 3 small silicon chips using electron beams. Yeah, and you can see the 3 little chips. I'm going to give you guys this page. It's pretty cool. Here's that link to that. It's pretty cool. Pete's Vlogs. What's going on, brother? Cores, he said, my mother is a nurse at a hospital in England, Sheffield, the highest corona case in north of England. She says it's actually less busy at work and nothing to do. That's kind of crazy, isn't it? Steve Pullman, you said, do you think that since you've been able to analyze older pictures with Photoshop, will NASA do something to make new photos harder to uncover hidden artifacts? Absolutely. They've actually changed that already. If you go back to Sol, like, let's just pick a number, 74. Look at those photos and look at the so-called rocks and the ground and everything else, and then look at the new ones. How the difference is in just the way the photos look. It's crazy how they look. So they already rolled with it. They're already modifying and changing up the way they do this. I think it's more of a I'm gonna what's the word I want to use? It's more of a software that they're using that's changing this stuff differently. And you can see the difference in the way these rocks look and everything. Totally, not totally different, but they're different. And you can see like they look like they have like a. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but it's like a static around the edge of all of these things. It's just weird the way the rocks look. It doesn't look like a solid piece where it's where it should be. And the older ones do actually echo that. They actually show like it's more smoother. Even though they're manipulated, they're still smoother and they look more realistic than now's pictures does. So I don't know. Really weird. What's going on there, Supreme Ruler? Good to see you in there. Says, hello, folks. Randy Kotaj, you said it said rather that they are looking for a second Sphinx, a twin to the one here on Earth. Does Mars have something like that? They actually Corona. No, I'm kidding. They said something about in one of the photos, and I believe it's the. Let me see if I can go back to this. This was the. I'll get it here in a second. It was back in the first photo of the first rover. It was like in '97 that they had the rover it was a Sojourner, but it had it stuck next to a rock, and in the back, people thought they saw what looked like a Sphinx in the way in the background. Now, I had done a video about that. It's much more than some kind of weird looking little Sphinx. When you go back, because we don't know how far it goes back, what you do is you actually see the rover, and it's like almost level to the ground, so you don't know what the distance is to these said objects in the back. But when you really analyze it, it looks like structures, like they've been just frames laying there, and what look like vehicles there on the ground a distance away. It's just crazy what some of the things are. But some people have claimed they've already seen that, some kind of weird Sphinx in that particular photo. And again, if you go back to the Sojourner, which was the very first rover on Mars in '97, just go back to some of the photos, and it's just like, what? Or you can just Google it, and people will show you that. Metalhead, what's going on? Good to see you there. He said, hey, Chris. I noticed Neville's gigapans are different too. Yeah, notice how the structure, the texture of these rocks and everything are just different. They have that, like I said, they have that weird staticky look, like there's like nothing clean and precise about the edges. They seem to be like almost like porous. I don't know if that's the best way to say it, but that's the way it looks to me, Supreme Rule, you're right about that. You put on there, they have gotten better at hiring touch-up artists. Or again, it may be something to do with the software, because think about it, they're ramping up to get the other 2020 rover up there by 2021. So, is it something they're getting ready for so they can do more covering up? Who knows, right? Hey, Michael Stock, what's going on? You put on there deep state, and got parts of COVID-19 from USA and Canada research labs, compiled the bioweapon and deployed first strain in China, more aggressive second strain in Italy and Iran. Well, you got to understand too, these things modify, they change, they morph. This is the reason why my doctor will say to me, would you like would you like your vaccine or your flu shot? Nope, I'm good. Well, how come? I said, what's the point? You'll give me this today. Well, wait a minute. It's been through, 60 people by the time I caught it. So it's actually changed. The strain has changed. This thing is no longer any good. What's the point? And besides, I don't want them pumping garbage into my body. So, yeah. Roy Searles, you said, bye, Chris. Bye, guys. Got to get some groceries. Bye, Chris. Yeah, just be careful. Try to do some shopping if you can for a good couple weeks. Don't just do it for week to week if you can help it. This way you can just stay out of these places a little bit more. I don't know about anybody else if you've been shopping lately, but for us, it's starting to decline. And I knew this was coming. In fact, so much so that we're actually going to have backstock. In other words, we get the shelf so jammed that the next truck came up and we have the same stuff. So, well, guess what? So, which is not a big deal. The stuff will sell. It's food. But just the idea of it's come to a screeching halt because people have flooded their houses with food. And of course, you're going to have the 10 years of, supply of toilet paper because God knows, probably shit yourself stupid. But the thing is, I just find it comical. Sorry, guys. I don't mind getting a couple extra cases of it. And I don't mean cases meaning, there's 100 per box. I mean, like, you get a couple extra packs just to have it anyway. We do that anyway, just to have it on hand. Not because of the virus thing going around, but just to have it. But people were just absolutely insane with this stuff. And just be careful about it. Stay away from the people. If you can shop for a couple weeks, so you're out of there one weekend, the better off you'll be. LGV third, thank you very much. I appreciate your support. You said good work. Thank you very much. Again, thank you for the support. There's it seemed like, and I know a lot of these people like, some, I think one of you guys just mentioned, I think it was Carol and somebody else last week said, can we just talk about Mars, space or something? And it seems like every time I look for something like even simple as space news, right? Something's always in it about this virus. And I don't think it should be taken lightly. But on the other side of the token, I don't think anybody should be bent out of shape and so worried out of their mind. Again, if you do not have it, your family members don't have it, just stay at home. That'll assure that you don't get it. And it's very simple. It's really that simple. Now, is this something to be worried about? I wouldn't want it. And I might have already had it. I mean, they say, well, our state didn't have it. Bull. I don't believe that for a minute. It's like every state, you look at everywhere around West Virginia, everybody had it. But no, West Virginia didn't have it. I think we had it back in January or December. And that's what we had. We actually had this thing already. And I think a lot of you guys will agree because it's supposedly it started off in Washington first and all this other crap. And I think we already knew it. People were getting sick and so what is this crap? And then found out, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Now we're recognizing what this may be. Yeah. Third eye open rather. You said yes, the hoarding was terrible. Sure hope that slows down. So, like I said, it's slowed down in my neck of the woods. Again, people have bought so much that they're literally stopping. Now you get like on the first, you'll have the people, when they get their checks and everything else. So they'll go ahead and buy more and so on and so forth. But that's just normal shopping. Now, some of them will still feel the need to hoard. There's no reason to do that, guys. There really isn't. And because if you think about it, it's an essential store to stay open, which means grocery stores will not close. Think about that. Of course, you said I've had sniffles for about two months. Well, it goes a lot deeper than that. They say like I think one of the major things was if you have uh if you don't have any sense of smell, get to the doctors right away. Upper respiratory, you can't breathe right, whatever stuff like that. Not big signs, not things like well I got a sore throat, I've got sniffles or like that. But yeah. Well, that may be true. You said, well, maybe they didn't have the test, to actually do it in West Virginia. That may be entirely true. But I think we've had it longer than they're saying, is what I'm saying, because I can almost guarantee I had it. I almost guarantee it because it almost fit everything other than the shortness of breath. And see, I always had the sense of smell, so I don't understand. Maybe the strain has changed, and this is the reason why they're saying that because somebody was saying there was like another virus that was hitting animals now, coronavirus. Who the hell knows, right? Frank Centurion, a couple of shots of whiskey every day keeps the virus away. That'll do it. Get down here to the bottom in case I miss anybody here. Of course, can't shut down the food stores, have to feed the sheep. Well, like I said, there's nothing wrong with having the stores open. I just think it's crazy that people are doing the hoarding they're doing, right? There's no need for it. There really isn't. It's not. Now, if they said, by the way, we're going to have a mandatory shutdown of everything, meaning stores as well, meaning food stores and everything else, then you might want to panic, but I don't think that's going to be the case. People got to eat, so they're not going to have to worry about it. We're all good. Photography, light, and magic. You said the fatality rate of all people who had it and the cases were closed is 17%. Yeah, that's a decent amount percentage. I mean, but it's like it's that weird thing. Again, at first they thought it was just older people. Remember that? Yeah. Then all of a sudden, wait a minute. Now it's younger people. Oh, now it's a 12-year-old's got it. Now it's a baby that's got it. But most likely to make it through because of a little bit better, less chance because they have really nothing wrong with them as opposed to an older person, right? Marcus Peters, that could be right. Said maybe aliens are testing their stuff on us. Well, so I actually read an article. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It said that may have come from outer space, and the first thing I thought was, "Oh, come on, really?" So when I read this, they said that just prior to this, I don't know if it was like a month or two, maybe if it was even that long. They said that they actually had a little meteor actually crash near China. I'm thinking to myself, this is this kind of conspiracy crap going on where they're trying to get people, oh, wow, check this out, But is it possible? I don't think that's the case, to be truthful with you guys, but you know how these things all come out of the woodwork, right? Alien Town. I see what you're saying. You're saying the cores there. Been nice here in Chester the last 3 days. Had a few beers yesterday. Fell asleep in the garden. Woke up like a tomato. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, I hit about pretty much almost 78, almost 80 degrees here Fahrenheit. It's got pretty toasty here. Lance Miss Blankley said, "Well, Chris, I have to quit smoking cigarettes during this stay-at-home order. One good thing. Well, that's true. It's not helping you, so why even bother, right?" Yeah, there's a lot of people now supposedly supposed to have the coronavirus, right? Oh, Frank, good one. First time in history China ever made anything that lasts over a month. Oh, well, that's a good one. MC Gamer says, "Hey, community, go to my YouTube channel and check out my last video to see how to get free movies and TV shows." Not bad seeing everybody's like on the lockdown kind of thing going on. If you had a link, MC Gamer, go ahead and drop it. Get that vitamin D, people. That's like me. I have that as one of my multi, well, not multi, but a regular vitamin D3. Especially in the wintertime, right? You don't get any vitamin D because you're not getting any sunlight. So you got to have it anyway. Carol said, all convos are all interesting, really. Nice to talk about different sides of stories from all over the world. Mine's open here. Well, and that's the thing. It's like, we could talk about several things because, I know, Carol, it's like a lot of people, like they come here to talk about space news and like to throw that in too. But it's also concerning to a lot of people that who are sitting home and they're on this lockdown. They want to hear different opinions from people. Now, for example, I I like what the president has done with as far as getting people back to work, all this other crap. I like that. What I don't agree with that he's just recently said that he wants to have people back to work like in like a week or two. It's like, no, 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 no. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people say, no, listen, I got to get back to work. I need to make money. And I totally get it. On the other side of the token, this stuff is just they're not even seeing a decline yet here in this country yet. And he wants to send people back. We don't know if this thing's going to still keep, peaking up higher. We don't know that. So the best thing to do is if when they start to see a dip, like a flat top and start to dip, maybe, but I don't think I'd be overzealous and want to do that shit. I don't think I'd do that. Brian Norton, Kung Flu. Yeah, I've seen that before too. Well, let's do this. Do it that way. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah, but you can't just click on your name, MC Gamer. I can try to do it myself and it won't do it. Alien Tenno, he said, well, Chris, NASA's turning their telescopes on Titan. Hubble, you're on. It's funny because I got one coming up, and like I said about Titan, it's really not about anomalies per se. It's about questions, and it won't be a very long video, but it just makes you wonder, and it keeps you guessing like, okay, so seriously, what's going on here? And you know what? That moon, they're saying it's probably the best possibility as well as Enceladus, either below the surface or on the lakes of these moons. What's going on. Yeah, there's more going on in these moons and these planets than meets the eye. I've said this a million times. Now, just because it isn't maybe life like we have here doesn't mean life can't exist on another moon or another planet. We think of our moon, it's completely dead. It's not so like Titan. You look up Titan, just Google it. It's nothing like our moon. It's like a dead piece of dust. So yeah, gorgeous. And all I hear is people coughing, but I think that's all in the mind now. Well, I mean, because people are constantly bombarded by it, that's what they're hearing, right? It's like every time you turn on coronavirus, you know, um, I cough a couple of times. That could be like people they look at you like, what the hell? And it's like it has nothing to do with that. You could have just a normal cold. You could have hay fever. You can have, it's that time of year. You can have a simple cold. It could be anything, and right off the bat, oh, coronavirus. But it's good to act like it is, just to be on the safe side, right? That's what they said. Just assume everybody has it. That's what they'll tell you. Just assume everybody out there has it, and just keep your distance. That's all. Metalhead says just smoke my last cigarette. I'm done. Good for you guys. I'll tell you what. I'll be honest with you guys. Back in the day, I remember being in school. All your friends like, oh, yo, man, peer pressure and everything. I didn't have any peer pressure. They're just like, hey, man, you want to take a drag? I'm like, I'm good. So they're like, come on, man, just have it. Have a drag. And I'm like, I started smoking. I was like, I coughed my brains out and everything else. I'm like, oh, no, 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 it'll get better. It'll get better. I said, wait a minute, hold on. Your body's trying to tell you that it doesn't belong there. This is the reason why you're coughing and gagging. No, I'm good. Thank you very much. I never smoked a cigarette. That was it. A couple of drags, that was done. Mazo Moon Channel says prepare USA for at least 1 month of lockdown. Well, the way I look at it is, it should be at least 3 weeks, right? At least that, so that this can get over. That's the whole idea of it. Because people have it within 2 weeks. Okay, let's make sure in case it's a little longer. Let's go to 3 weeks. This way here, it's better, right? That's the way I look at it. Brian Norton says, easy, Chris. Trump won't send back too early. Well, I mean, the way he's talking, he wants to, right? He's like, well, I'd like to get people back to work as soon as possible. And I get what he's doing. I mean, he's trying to, make sure the economy doesn't completely take a dump. What was it, like a $2 trillion thing to get, checks out to people and so on and so forth. So he wants to actually get people back to work. Well, that's all well and good. But what happens if more and more people get it? Then what does it do to every company? Because let's say their workforce is now crippled by this virus. What happens then? Oh, wait a minute. You're going to start hiring more people? And like I said, it takes like 2 weeks for these people to start to show symptoms. So you don't even know if some of these people have it. You go, okay, all the people have it, send them home or whatever. We just need new employees, get those. Well, wait a minute. The other people that are still in there that are working that you didn't send home probably have it now. And it snowballs. It doesn't quit. You got to just actually do a complete shutdown, keep everybody home for about 3 weeks to a month, and then roll it back. You know what I mean? And you'll start to see this flat top and then drop off. Marson Markin or Marson, uh, Crowitz. I'm not even sure I'm pronouncing it right. Forgive me if I'm not. Good evening. Greetings from Poland. I like what you do. I wish you much health. Well, right back at you, man. I appreciate that. Andy D. No, I didn't see that. Said, did anyone see the article about a man living in the mountains alone with no contact to anyone for years, still caught the virus? I thought about that too. We always talk about these chemtrails. How do we know this wasn't sprayed over everybody? Think about it. Well, just spread over China first. Then we'll spread it over Italy or whatever. Of course, this is all speculation, of course. But how do we know that? Make it look like it has an origin. Well, wait a minute. It started there, man. Then it went to there. Then it went to here. Then in the United States. How do we know? Just spray it in the air. I've heard that before too. Limey Watcher, you said, did Corona come from the comet passing? Most likely not, because wasn't that like was it 3 million miles away? It was quite far away. So I don't think that would have been the case. But like I said, if we engineered this, we geoengineered this, or basically engineered the virus, and modified this thing from different viruses, you can easily spread it and give it to everybody. How the hell does anybody know? They just put it. Oh, we can make it deadly, but we'll make it like so it's not going to kill the whole population, because then clearly they'll know it's something else. Um, yeah, I don't know. Lance Smith Blanco, quickest way to get to the front of the line is coughing. Well, I thought the same thing. You just go in there, and of course, I made it a joke, which it's really not, right? Because it is, like I said, I'm not going to downplay this thing. It's nothing to take. It's nothing to be joking about. But if you just want to go in there and go Corona, and people like they all disperse. But you know, but even now, even in the store where I'm at, I told people, and nobody said a word, but they're all standing in line. They're literally right behind each other, like it's a normal day. I said, people, space yourselves. They all looked at me like, what? And then they all started to just space themselves. Stay the hell away from people. The government's not going to stop this. We can. We've got to do it. Just stay the hell away from people. It's that easy. Mimi Reaction said, I feel sorry for the small businesses who probably won't return. Well, we got a couple here locally that probably won't. It's sad that it's like that, because they may be borderline. Maybe they just started out, whatever the case is, and they're trying to make it where, they're doing good for themselves, new opening and stuff like that. And all of a sudden this takes place. And of course, they still have rent to pay. They still got all kinds of things to do, utilities, whatever it may be. Some of these places are paying $3,000 to $5,000 for rent a month. So they got to sell whatever it may be, whether it's just regular merchandise, whether it's a restaurant. And they literally have to sell X amount of food or merchandise to make the rent, and then everything above that. So that's when they start making money, maybe. Yeah. So a lot of their stuff is actually basically given away to the rent and utilities before even making money, right? Yeah. Of course, you said as soon as planes stopped flying in England, as much skies became clear. Absolutely. Imagine that. Well, yeah, Peter Ferrero, you said think of all the people in Times Square on New Year's. On New Year's, infection would be easy. Yeah, just spray it. People, next it's like, oh, well, it's because everybody was standing around. One guy gave it to everybody, or was it something that was sprayed in the air? We don't know. Again, I don't have any proof of that, so it's pure speculation. But that doesn't mean it can't be done. Hell, if they're spraying this stuff in the air, who knows what's in it? You know, you can almost bet there's a little bit of something in there that you breathe in and slowly kills your body. And then next thing you know, it just cuts the population down. Lots of Craft, you said, I saw some really, really strange, not natural cloud formations lately. Yeah, people have been saying the same thing. It's kind of weird. Now, I did see one had like that weird front coming in, right? And it had these kind of weird billowy clouds that were like almost looked like solid, almost like it was solid in the front. But it's just like storm front clouds, and they just give it this weird, ominous look, and it's just crazy the way they look, right? Mimi reacts as a person with social anxiety. I don't have a problem with social distancing myself. Well, I mean, it's kind of like, to me, I don't like to be in crowds only for one reason. It doesn't help me at all. When I go through a place, it's like when I work, right? I walk through there quickly, get my job done. Well, if I'm like bogged down by a bunch of people in an aisle, I can't get anything done. So I don't like it. Um, it's not that I want to be antisocial. It's just that I just want to get in and get out, just be efficient and get the hell out of there. So this is the reason why I don't like to be in with a bunch of people. Like a lot of times on Sundays, if we go in Sunday morning. People are still in church. There's still a whole bunch of people in there doing their thing. And I just go there, get my stuff, and out before noon. This way here, when the craziness starts up and there's a lot more traffic, there you go, right? Butter M. Badur M. 17 days after the last person left the Diamond Princess cruise ship, they could find COVID-19 virus still hanging in the air in some cabins. Oh, I'm not surprised. And it just makes you wonder. It's like if there was that bad inside that ship, that stuff's just circulating through that darn ship. It's going to take a while to get that thing, completely cleaned out. All the surfaces, the air vents, and a lot of these things. A lot of these vents will have ultraviolet lights built into them, right? And that's to kill the viruses in the air before it gets out to the vents. Um, Most hospitals have those. You'll see them like a lot of times on the wall. There'll be like purple lights in the wall. That's basically to kill any kind of viruses of airborne crap in the air. But a lot of these are in the HVAC systems where they're actually built into these things where they can actually kill it off as it's coming through the ventilation, kill it off, and then of course cleaner air. Let's see. Marcus Peters just says bacteria and viruses are the Earth's antidote to combat humans. Well, that could be too. I mean, Mimi Rex says, I wish I had a garden so I could grow my own vegetables just in case hell breaks loose. Yeah, but what happens if it is an airborne thing and ends up on your vegetables? So for me, I mean, anybody can easily stock up on a little food, right? If you just put it away, you can put it in these plastic containers, airtight and everything else, like beans and all kinds of other stuff. Just put it away, and they'll stay for a long time. And that's the way I look at it. If you had to do that, but I tell people don't panic. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's the viruses, but as far as solving it, it's easy. Just keep distance, right? Don't breathe too much ozone, though. Noodle says, "Well, yeah, yeah." Terry Kelling says, "Should I be as worried about catching coronavirus as the UK government want me to be?" Um, I mean, you should heed the warning. I mean, you shouldn't go, it's a bunch of made up crap. No, it is the real deal. It's definitely there. Heed the warnings. Stay in the house. Stay away from groups of people. Just stay away from. And if you have to be next to groups of people, I think it was in Italy. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. If you know anybody in Italy or if you live there, they had like either 3 to 6 feet was the rule and it was the law. And if you didn't obey, it was like a $300 fine. So yeah, I mean these laws are there for a reason. They don't they're not trying to get you stay in the house. We don't like you. It's not about that. It's about saying, listen, let's get this to stop spreading, and this is the best way to do it. People would just meet the guidelines and just follow them. They'd be fine. Because like I said, don't expect the government to stop this for you. They're just trying to come up with tests to see if you have it or not. All they can do is if you end up hospitalized, all they can do is do their best to try to get you through it. And if not, then you don't make it. That's not good enough for me. I'd rather see people living, of course, and make it through it. But it just sometimes it just irks you because I see people coming in my place 3 or 4 times a week, and I'm going, "Who the hell are you shopping for?" What I mean? Now maybe some of these people, because I know one person actually shops for elderly in their community, and they know them very well, very tight knit community. And what they'll do is they'll go to each of these houses. Do you need anything? Let me get you this. Let me get you that. And they'll go in there and they don't mind doing it. They're not going in there with mask or gloves or nothing. They're just going in there and say, listen, I'm taking precautions, but but I need to get these for these people. And it's like good work that these people are doing. And it's just nothing but hats off to them. Oh, is this another troll? Who's your friends, Chris? Delusional? What? Garfield Kitty Tails. Explain that one. I'd like to see that. Noodles, you said ozone generators are good at killing viruses and bacteria. Sweaty hockey gear in the trunk goes with ozone generator on it for 10 minutes, all bacteria dead. Well, yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing too. It's like I see, just taking again precautions. People are using like Lysol sprays, everything in your house, washing your hands. It all helps. It definitely helps. And again, just follow the guidelines, and you'll see it drop off. There's no doubt. Alien Tanner said UV lights kills C19. I highly recommend you buy one. Well, I mean, they're good to have, right? I mean, just about any big store, hospitals, they all have them. Restaurants, you look on the wall, like I said, you'll see like a purplish light. Um, it's just ultraviolet. They're to kill all that garbage in the air. Michael Stock says for anyone ordering stuff online, rather, make sure to disinfect the products outside your home before bringing it in. Toss the external box, clean inside product. Well, that's true because again, it's like us. We get, like I said, we get our products, whether it's all the food, different foods that come from North Carolina. It's not even in our state, so we're handling this stuff every day. But again, I don't touch my face. I don't do anything else. I just clean, get it all done, and before I go to the bathroom, before I eat, before I do anything, I go home. My hands already desanitized. I'll even use some on my face a little bit. And then what I'll do is I'll come home, I'll do it again. Yeah, just to make sure. You can't be too sure of yourself. You know what I mean? You just say, okay, let's just get this done. And you never can be too safe is what I meant to say, really. Of course, you said they made it out like you dropped dead on the spot in the beginning when it comes from trying to, what a joke. Yeah, it's like you don't just keel over like you just get it, done. And it doesn't work that way, but yeah. Jack Lambert said people stocking up with guns are stocking up for people with guns. If the shit hits the fan, protect your family's people. Be smart, just in case. I mean, I don't think I'd be going out. I mean, I've seen people doing this. They're literally running out, buying all kinds of guns. And if you're not buying guns, they're buying, all kinds of bullets and different wow, just crazy. And I'm saying to myself, okay, I've always said that, I got something in the house here. I just tell people right out, listen, if you break into my house, you've had your last day, your last breath. Because here's the thing, I'm not going to play games, but I'm not worried about it coming to that point that people are going to start doing that. Now, there was a video, I don't know if you guys have seen this, it was down in Mexico. It says, meanwhile, in Mexico, people literally broke through the front of the store, went through, I mean, there's no glass, nothing in the front of it. It's completely gone. And people were like looting big time, right? I'm saying to myself, so what's the point of this? There's people walking out, and I seen it with like kids' toys. They had like these little plastic vanities, and what the hell are you going to do with that? So you're breaking into a store to do what? I mean, I don't get it. I just, I understand people running out with food, that makes sense to me, but running out with toys and stuff that's for the household, I don't know. It's just another reason for people to just go stupid. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Oh yeah, Lance Smith, you're right about that. You said don't hate on the Chinese citizens. It's their government that is the bar apple. Well, that's the thing. It's it's not going to be the people themselves. I mean, they're getting it spread upon themselves, so it's not them. It's the actual government, right? Supreme Rule. I said the same thing. We were just talking about this. My family and I were saying the same thing. I said, man, the mosquitoes are going to eat your ass alive this summer. Not only that, you're going to have like every insect in the world possible out there. The grass is going to grow up your ass crack. I mean, it's going to be it's going to be horrendous because really hasn't been a bad winter at all here, and we're just jumping like it usually happens. We're going from winter to almost summer, and then we are having a spring too because I think today and tomorrow is going to be like I forget what it is like 82 degrees here Fahrenheit. And then during the week next week, it's supposed to be like upper 40s to mid 50s. So, and it's going to be the highs. So we're actually going right into spring, but a lot of times it just takes off right into summer. And, so not much you can do about that. But I said the very same thing. I said the insects are going to be absolutely insane this summer. Michael Stocky said, got to admit, our environment is loving the lockdowns. Skies are clearer, air is fresher, no planes, checkerboarding the skies, smog in LA is nearly gone. Well, yeah, maybe that's what it needs, right? It needs to just clean up. And they said if you get a fair amount of sun, that'll actually kill the virus as well. So if it's on the outside and it's in the sun, it'll kill it off, right? That's a good thing. Of course, we've had so much clouds lately. It got sunny a little bit. Wow, I was like, wow, this is great. No, all of a sudden, nothing. So I was like, well, what are you going to do? Renee, if poop hits the fan, then it'll be fly everywhere. Yeah, pretty much. Mother Nature's pissed off. You've read about that. So, how many people believe that there may be Martians or intelligent life still on Mars? And if so, do you believe they're still scavenging on the on the surface, or do you think there's still structures on the surface, or do you think they're underground? What do you guys think about that? Intro Munchkin. I bet there will be lots of divorces. Some people, some couples rather, can't stand each other, which is really odd, isn't it? Alien Deno. Mosquitoes will play dots on your on your butt, basically, right? Might be. It might have like a bullseye, right? Yeah, I mean, you guys are saying underground, definitely underground. I mean, I have a feeling that there might have been an area that was hit, but how do we know the surrounding areas weren't? You know what I mean? They might be just still structures, and like kind of like you have like wars here on Earth, right? To be like certain countries or small parts of countries that have been hit, but the rest of the that particular country or area is fine, right? So maybe there just happened to be in ground zero what happened, but there's other structures and other life somewhere else. How do we know? Something tells me that there's in some ways you're saying to yourself there is no life because you think they would attack the rovers by now and beat them to death, or they're so small that they can't do anything to the rover. One of the two, and of course it's all speculation because we don't know, right? But so it makes you wonder: is there actual life on Mars? Parts of me saying no, absolutely not, because of what happened. Um, the other part is like it's a very good possibility that they're all underground, and this is why it doesn't bother them, right? Um, that drink's good. So I don't know. It's hard to tell. I think there could be life, but I don't think it may not be intelligent life. I think there may be like, organics and stuff like that. What do you guys think about that? Is that a possibility, or do you still believe actually? Because I know some of you guys do already. You already sounded off saying that you believe they are there, but they're just underground. Mimi reacts is probably all of the Martians who could not leave the planet after the war, and that's a good possibility. Well, war or whatever decimated the planet, right? Um, but yeah, most likely a war or something like that. Um, and Supreme Ruler said the same thing. Something hit them, meteor, nuke, or something. So, yeah, was it like they got caught off guard? Is it something that was new? It was news, like a pending, cataclysmic event. How do we know, right? Um, is it possible they were trying to fight off something that was coming in from space and they were trying to shoot it down and then this is what happened? Who knows, right? It's all guesses at this point. But I don't know. You know, for all we know, there could be life other places. And funny enough, I don't know if you guys have seen this. I've told you guys before, like we've got the Cydonia region, right? Which is north, which is really bizarre. You got the two areas I told you where the nuclear blasts were. And one of them was the biggest blast, was next to the face of Cydonia, the Cydonia region. And funny enough, just south, and I forget how many kilometers or miles that the actual rovers and landers are at, right? They're right there at the equatorial region. Well, funny enough, the 2020 rover is going to be even more north, closer to the Cydonia region. Imagine that. Wonder why. Why would they need to go there? Why this certain area? And it just so happens that, like I said, there was two nuclear blasts. Why? What's going on here? Why is it that they're so infatuated with that area that they need to be there, and they're just kind of like just checking all the areas out and everything else? And there are who knows? Maybe the actual, if it is true that the bigger blast was right there at the Cydonia region, and the smaller one is just slightly south and east of that area. And again, I keep forgetting. I'm gonna have to write it down so I'll know this, but because it's a while I read up on it, I don't remember what it's called. But the Cydonia region is pretty easy. The face of Cydonia. But if the larger blast was there and the smaller one was over there, and they're just south of this region, maybe they can't go into that area right now because complete devastation. But they can go to the outskirts and they can see this, and they can actually get around and motivate around through there. Who knows, right? But you got to imagine that if something big did actually happen to the planet, and it appears that it has, that they're looking at some crazy, crazy stuff. We're only seeing tidbits of this iceberg, man. We're just barely seeing bits and pieces. But clearly, this stuff is they're onto something. They're seeing something, and they're there for a reason. It's nothing about, gee, I wonder if there's, uh, what does it say? Like basically building blocks for life, as they put it in the beginning. They're there for much more than that, just like they were on the moon for much more than that. Jack Lambert says, "Who knows? But good question. I think it's uninhabitable after what happened there. But the covert military have to be there as well as ETs. Mars is prime real estate uh, on the solar system's basis. Well, yeah, I mean, people claim that they've been there since the 70s or maybe early 80s that we've been on Mars. There's no way to know that. It could very well be true. Because again, if they made it to the moon, you could bet they kept trying and kept trying to try to get to Mars, especially if they've seen this stuff with the Viking missions, both the lander as well as the orbiters, the flybys that they've done. They landed there. They've seen this stuff was already there. They've already tested the soil. They've seen, and of course, there's an argument with scientists saying that, yes, we already found building blocks of life. We found microbial life back in 75, 76. So if that's true, then they already have the answer. So what are they looking for? So now they're trying to find more life, drilling the rocks, maybe horizontally, vertically, blah, 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 blah. I don't think that's the case, guys. They knew this answer back in the 70s. They're there for much more than that, you know? That would be pretty interesting, Course. You said, can you imagine just one night seeing the other side of the moon? That would be interesting. Mimi React says, the civilized ones control the water supplies. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, it's in the ground, right? Whether it's brine or not so much brine, meaning salted, highly salted content water, it may be actually more. It may not be like, because they're finding water ice at the poles, right? So clearly, there's actually regular water, not just brine. So I think it's in the air, and they say that inside Gale Crater, which is basically a giant bowl, right? Because it used to be a an old lake or whatever they claim that was in this. At least that's what they say. Used to be that in this crater. So if that's the case, then what they claim is that there's a water cycle, and is basically because air will actually settle to the ground. There could actually be life there, and I strongly believe there is at least organics. There's at least that, and I believe there's insects because some of the photos that we've seen looks like this thing's moving in the sky. It could be one single thing. People go, "Oh, that's just dust." Okay, I'll go with that. I'm down with that. But explain to me what's just one dust particle. It's like, ooh, it could be a micron. Okay, why is it just one? If it's a windy enough day to blow that one up, where the hell's the rest of them? Makes you wonder. You know, I don't believe that for a minute. There's got to be more than that. Naim M says, I would love to go up in space in a spaceship. Well, you get these like Virgin Space, they go up there, Virgin Galactic or whatever it's called. I know there's several companies now wanting to go up there. I think I forget what it was. I think last time, excuse me, I think last time I heard it was like, was it like $100,000? I think it was $100,000. I think it was. Of course, I don't know what it is now. It might have went through the roof. Throat's getting dried out. But yeah, I mean, it's like a 7-minute trip. You go up, you go into the in orbit and is kind of looking, and then back down you come. So it's pretty interesting. Andrew Munchkin, you put on there, what troubles me is the old pics of Mars show canals and the modern day ones don't. Very strange. Well, keep in mind they had like kind of a crude telescope back then, and of course they called them canales. And back in the day, they believed that it was probably man that did it, or intelligent life that did it and cut these out. But now that we have a lot better quality, meaning we can get right into it, um, there is canals there, but it's not like they said back in the day. What was it, Percival? Percival that actually, I think he was the first one that actually uh, seen through a telescope onto Mars. But to me, it's just um, like I said, they believed that at one time. That's why they believed there was life on Mars back then. But back in 1941, when you see these two huge lights like in the Martian atmosphere, you got to wonder, what the hell was that? Did they A, kill themselves off? B, did they kill themselves off? Or, well, if they killed themselves off, it was something else that killed them off. Or was it an accident? Who the hell knows? But it wasn't even, it was in the atmosphere, not actually on the planet. So it does make you wonder, it's like, what the hell? Carol, you said obviously we have technology on dot with I guess dot w or whatever that is mind blowing. Who I thought of that clever people who are stolen from Mars, well, or that from the moon, right? Because we've seen a lot of that where um, you can see in these photos they've been doctored so much, but there's actually things that there's right in front of these astronauts, and in the background of these photos that look like either crash ships, structures, or whatever they may be. These people were not up there for moon rocks, guys. They went up there for dust. BS. Again, I've said this before. They're not going to go, hey, let's just say I'm like NASA or whatever, and I say to you, hey, Carol, would you say you'd like to take a trip up to the moon? And you say, sure. Why would I do that though? I mean, yeah, how risky is it? There's a chance you could die. Now you're thinking a couple of things. Well, it'd be interesting to go to the moon because nobody's ever done it. But you're going to say, okay, now the next question, what are we going there for? We're going to collect rocks. Is my life worth rocks though? But then they say, well, no, the real deal is the reason why we're there is to get, we've seen what looks like alien artifacts, structures or crafts, or whatever they may be. And we'd like to get our hands on some of this. You'd probably raise your hand and say yes before he even finishes that question, because the last thing you want to do is like not, be a piece of that, because that's interesting. Now, just to go up there for rocks, you'd be like, my life really worth that? Let me think about this. No. So, I mean, I don't know. You got to, nobody's just going to do it just for simple things like that. But if somebody said to you, we're going to go up there, we're going to just actually, and we're going to show you photos of this before you go. Look at this. There's structures and what look like crash spacecraft. We took this from the LROC, the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter camera, and this is what we've seen from the satellite view. We want to get hands on. What do you think? Are you ready? Most people would probably say, okay, I'm still going to risk my life, but it'd be worth it because I'd love to see this firsthand. And like I said, this is the reason why I believe like the Apollo mission, like Apollo 11, especially Apollo 11, when they went there, they came back completely screwed up. Like they went there and just seen something they shouldn't have seen. Well, they probably knew they were going there. They were debriefed. But once they got there, the sheer size or the sheer, you're out in the moon, which is like, it's not like you're there on Earth where there's street lights and everything else. You're just there alone with these objects. And it's got to be creepy as hell. And not knowing it's anything that anybody on Earth has built, that would freak you out. And these guys came back freaked out as far as I'm concerned. There's no way. X15, you said the elite of this world knows Mars is a chocolate block full of strategic minerals and searching safe Earth-born elite settlement regions to occupy. Well, I mean, yeah, they're not. I mean, listen, there has to be a motivation. I get the reason why it's like the fourth planet. We could put life on it. It's still pretty much somewhat in the Goldilocks zone. They claim that it's not, but it's bull because in the summertime it can reach 50 to 70 degrees on the average Fahrenheit. Um, and it has a water cycle. It has pretty much everything we have here on Earth. Now, if there's certain regions that doesn't have a magnetic field, well, there's a good chance you'll have solar radiation and pretty much you won't live. But if you live in the regions, now they're saying that they're finding that the magnetic field is 10 times stronger than they thought or initially, which I don't know how it took them so long to figure this out because they have orbiters. But whatever the reason is, uh, you know, for whatever reason, I don't care. But to me, it's just like, okay, now they're finding it stronger. Okay, so now you could probably be shielded. You're good. You got air. And even if you had to use a little bit of air, like a breathing apparatus, you could probably walk around there. 70 degrees? What are you kidding? And it gets hotter than that. It's been known to go up to 104 degrees in the shade. So people go, well, yeah, but the sun's not as strong. Is it? How do we know? I mean, some of these places in the summertime here can get over 100 degrees. Arizona, look at Arizona, it can get up into triple digits. It can get up 100, 120 degrees. So let's say it gets up to 70, 80 on Mars. Ooh, I don't know about you, but I can live there all day long, as long as I can breathe. That is right. Niam or Niam. Don't think they have Wi-Fi though. You might be right about that. Homeless Cat, you said, what is the bright light people have been seeing in the night sky lately? I've seen a couple. Somebody had sent me a video or something like that and said, "Hey, check this out." And I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're on here right now, but it showed what looked like this orb or something like that. It looked like the moon actually, but it was there, and then just north of it, right above it, good distance away, there's like a smaller one, and they stayed there. They didn't move, and they were trying to zoom in, and it wasn't the moon because it literally is so small that it looked like an orb instead of the moon, right? But who knows, right? Mr. Gossam, a good point. You said maybe Earth's ejecta, including dinosaurs and other animals, went into space when the asteroid hit Earth and crashed into Mars. I was thinking it's the other way around. And a lot of scientists are on board with that. They're thinking the panspermia theory, which is what you're describing. You get an asteroid, hits Mars, throws all the kind of ejector up there, and it makes its way to Mars, and it starts, or to Earth rather, because depending on how you look at it, like you're saying from Earth to Mars, and I'm saying from Mars to Earth. They're thinking that that's the case, and we could be the Martians. And when I don't hate to say it that way because it makes it look like little green guys. But I mean, we might have started on Mars and came here. So if that's the case, then if there's still people there, then they look a lot like us. And this is the reason why we still haven't instilled how to build the same way they would, and maybe they built a lot like the way we did back in the day, right? How do we know? Back the way they did, I should say. And then we still have the instinct to build like they did. Who knows? And like I said, I had this. Um, I've been saying this, like well, I don't know if I want to say it that way, but I was just like speculating that maybe we had both life at some time. And what is the fifth? This is the fifth cycle on Earth as far as Earth cycles, where we had, you know, other cycles, the prior cycles, like Earth. Pretty much all the people died off because either fire, floods, whatever. But we like started over. Now we're in the fifth cycle. So is it possible way back thousands of years ago? Because we're finding out we're more than quarter million years old, if not longer than that now. That way back in the day, we did have technology back in the day, and we were intelligent then, and we had life on both planets, and we went back and forth. Who knows, right? Pure speculation. There's no way to prove this, but and then all of a sudden Mars took a hit, and of course it died off. And who knows? Earth didn't do the same thing, got hit by an asteroid, but it restarted itself, and this is where we are today. And now we're going back home to see what happened, or if we can scavenge anything out. Who knows? I mean, again, it's all speculation, but is it really that far fetched to believe that? If you just go by the simple theory of panspermia, then a rock or something hit that planet, ejecta came off Mars, made its way to Earth, and whatever was on, microbial was on that rock, a particular specific rock from Mars, maybe plant life, something like to do with animals, insects, whatever, started life here. Maybe there's more than one rock. It just came here and boom, it landed, started life here. How do we know? I mean, it's hard to tell. The Quantum Leap, he said, Chris, is the Black Knight satellite still in Earth's atmosphere? Haven't heard anything in a while. I haven't either, to be honest with you. I haven't looked at it, so I couldn't tell you. But it is interesting. And last time I knew it was there. Now, I don't know if it, whatever became of it, because I haven't really checked into it. And I don't think there's any information about it, but just when it was had the STS missions with the space shuttles and stuff like that, right? Where they claimed it was a blanket. And some of the photos are of actually the blanket. There's no doubt about it. And then some of them, when you look at it, it's kind of like they're trying to mix the photos up, like Black Knight, and then what it looks like you had this blanket. And I think there was two sides of the blanket. One was like more of a silverish to reflect, sunlight. The other was more of a black, or if it's the way it was in the shadowing, meaning not in direct sunlight, it looked black. So some were actually the blanket. Some of them, no way. Those things were not. They just try to play it off like it was. It's just a blanket. I swear to God it is. No. I've done videos on that. You can go to my page, go in the search box and put Black Knight satellite. And I've actually enhanced this so-called blanket. No. Josh D, what's going on? He said, hello, all. I am late. I thought it would be tomorrow. I thought it would be too. Well, we said, Friday, 5 o'clock until we change it over. But yeah, I mean, we're going to see what happens because right now there is no school anymore, so on and so forth. And I don't know if you guys said Saturday would be better for you guys or today. And like I said, you guys can always just, voice in right now. Tell me what you think is easy for you guys, and we'll try to do what we can, right? What's going on in Nacho Libre? What's happening? Metalhead, you said another thing to think of is that is the camera picks up things in the environment that we can't see with the naked eye. Well, that's what's true because the video that they had said in the video, well, they as a description, they said we didn't even see the second orb with our eye. It was actually in the camera, though. So there's a lot of things that the eye can't see where the camera can. So yeah, that's why a lot of people get these cameras like night vision and stuff like that because these things. Well, first of all, you can't see at night, right? But secondly, it depends on the wavelength and the actual wavelength itself, right? And the light spectrum makes a big difference. Mags K, what's going on? Good to see you now. You said, hi, Chris. I read a post today saying the ozone was repairing itself. Have you heard about this? Truthfully, I've been so busy lately, I haven't had a chance to do really absolutely anything, to be truthful. Like I said, I was able to get the 2 videos out and I barely made those out. Being so busy at work. And it's just starting to ease up a little bit now, but now we're like restocking everything. So it's even more crazy at times, right? So yeah. But it probably is. I think it's been going on for quite some time because that was back in what? Was that late 80s? Late 80s, I think it was, wasn't it? When they said that the ozone had a hole and a half in it, basically, it was pretty big. But a lot of this was supposed to be like this engineering they were doing through the spraying was actually supposed to close that up and stuff like that. So they were trying to close the ozone. And this is the reason why, of course, the tighter restrictions on, everything from factories spewing out all this garbage and the cars and everything else. So yeah. I think it jumped on me again. Glenn Darren rather. Hello all for my first time in chat as Asola County. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Where I live here in Florida has gone on lockdown, and I finally find myself with extra time to join in on one of my favorite channels. Thanks for the great work you do. I appreciate that, Glenn. I hope you're well down there. I mean, my daughter lived down in Florida itself as well, and she worked for the Postal Service. So yeah, she's always on the doing her thing, trying to be safe and everything else. So yeah, it's like I've been telling everybody, just stay in the house if you can. If you're on lockdown, take advantage of it. It's like a vacation. If you got enough food in the house, your family's safe, that's all it needs to be. And like I said, eventually this will flat top out and start to decline, and everybody will feel better. But still, you still got to stay in the house just to make sure the shit blows over. So just stay safe down there. Yeah, amazing. Eddie Haskell, we may be mini to other galactic civilization. Absolutely. I think we're just starting off. I mean, we're like little infants just learning how to, we're just learning our surroundings and stuff like that, learning how to walk and we'll crawl and then walk. And then we're trying to be spacefaring and everything else. So they're probably looking at us going, oh, look how cute. They're finally coming out into space. Well, let's keep an eye on them because they don't want it to, like, if they're going to ruin their planet, we sure in hell don't want them ruining ours. H Toss 1AV, almost missed it. Good day, all. What's going on? Good to see you in there, man. Michael Stark, he said, Chris, can you analyze some more aerial terrain pics from pics four? I'm sorry, lunar anomalies. Always awesome seeing their massive structures everywhere. Yeah, I'm going to try to do more of those, and I've got one that I had. Somebody had done, one of the researchers had done like a little bit of a, I don't know if I want to call it a manipulation or enhancement. They did like a slight enhancement to it, but it's not the enhancement that I care about. But he was trying to show where the manipulations were, like the textures they put on parts of the photo. But what I found in it was the pieces that are in there. You could just see the mechanical parts laying right on the lunar surface. One of these photos, so we'll be checking that out soon. So that'll be coming out. I still got another Mars one. I got the Moon one coming out, and I got the one on Titan. And like I said, the Titan one's really not a anomalous one as it is to more questions, right? And so that one there won't be very long, but still, I'd love to be able to do it. But the problem is you don't have a lot of really photos of anything from Titan because it's basically blocked out. Just look at some of the photos. You'll see what I'm talking about. Grant McGowan says, "Hey Chris, you take care with this virus shit. Love from England." Well, the same back at you guys. I mean, it's something we got to take serious, but I wouldn't panic over it, right? It's not a joke. It's there. It will kill you if you're an older person, but it'll still keep you sick for a while too. If you're even a younger person, just be careful. Just heed their warning. Stay in the house. If you got food, just chill. Like I said, if they told me tomorrow you got 2 weeks off, you don't have to tell me twice. See ya. I'll be squalling tires all the way down the road just to get home. See you guys. That's the way I look at it. I'd be taking it like a vacation, just stay in the house, kick back, stream my favorite music, music or movies. Just relax. I'll sit back here and pump some, some good old music or some jazz on there, some classical. Oh yeah, just chilling. Love it. Amazing Eddie Haskell. He said, can someone answer the question, what are we in? What are we in? Yeah, Metalhead has said the same thing. Don't understand your question. Yeah, still having a problem understanding that. It's like, what's the universe and we, JG, at we are in? We're in something. X15, he said Martian beings will thrive near the polar regions of Mars where water and vegetation is abundant. Well, maybe not next to the polar regions, because it'd be colder there, right? It's saying it's a lot colder there than it is in the equatorial regions because obviously it's like here, you go to the Amazon jungles, it's hot in hell, it's like thriving with life and everything else. So it's no secret why they went to a planet right next to the equatorial region, because where would be the most abundant life? Right there at the equatorial region. So this is the reason why they're there. They're not playing games. They know exactly why they're there. They figured if there's going to be any place to find life, even if it's organics, they're going there for that reason. But as we can see in these photos, there's much more than anything like that they're looking for. They're up there for much more than that. Yeah, absolutely. X-15, you said affects young to old Chris. Yep, absolutely. Well, like I said, there was a 12-year-old that had it. There was a mom that gave birth to a baby that also has it. Um, Mars from Moon Channel says self isolation isn't so bad. No, it really isn't. I mean, it's like if you got all the entertainment and everything you need in the house, like if they told me, no, let's say it was like a mandatory lockdown, you couldn't even go out of your house. I don't care. I got food here. I got entertainment. Go in my workout room. I could just, go on there. It's like I got like a virtual kind of like I got the treadmill, the bike, and all of a sudden I got a virtual kind of thing. I can walk or jog, run. I don't care. I got all kinds of, so I can do everything in my house. I don't care. Um, and that would be, it wouldn't hurt me any. Wouldn't hurt my feelings at all to stay home. Jerry MC said, "Hello, Chris. I've missed so many hangouts due to work. Don't need to worry about that now. Hope everyone is well." Well, yeah. I mean, and I keep saying the same thing. I just keep telling people. I've seen so many, and this is weird. The amount of people that are still out and about is mind blowing. However, there is a lot of people that have heeded the warning here. There's not nearly any cars on the road. Of course, there is no schools. That helps. A lot of people are at home, and their jobs are paying them to stay home for the couple weeks. Sweet. How can you go wrong there? And then they figure, once everybody's and I think even Canada's off for like what 3 months. You guys can correct me. I know you guys are a couple Canadians here, but I know that they're saying that they're off for like 2 or 3 months or something like that with X amount of pay. I mean, friggin' beautiful. Take care of your people. The people will take care of you on the rebound. That's the way I look at it. Glenn, you said I've got a 19-year-old home from college and a 17-year-old home from high school, and they've been screaming at each other all day, getting on each other's nerves. So I'm watching outside on my front porch. Well, what do they like to do? They like to watch movies, like to stream games, whatever it is. Hell, let them have at it. That's the way I look at it. Set them up with something that can keep them busy. Best way to do it. I only have now my two daughters have moved out. I got one that only lives maybe 2 miles down the road. The other one lives in Florida, and I got just my son here living at the house. So he's more than entertains himself. He's either online playing games, he's doing his homework that they have to do online. He's getting, we got an extra computer in the other room that everybody uses that if they need it. So yeah. So it just got the one, but it's still, we got to watch out for ourselves too. That's why I said everybody should heed the warnings and just stay home, be better off. Andrew Haberman, you said what I was saying is that the water worlds are less common, but life would exist fine in the more common desert worlds. Maybe not as much life though. Well, yeah, I agree with you. And like I said, life has a way, right? It'll survive one way or the other. Like I said, go down to these volcanic vents that are deep underneath the oceans. You find all kinds of life living right next to these basically these fissures underwater, right? They're literally swimming around. You go to the Antarctica, you go into the oceans there, you got these weird bioluminescent friggin' creatures that like blue, almost like a little like police cars. They got red and like blue lights on them and stuff like that. They're just kind of just swimming along. And this is below freezing water, man. They're just kind of just doing their thing. Life will find a way one way or the other. That's all there is. It'll adapt. Yatata, hey, good to see you in there, man. He said, "What is your take on Bonnie and the Betty UFO case, and also Project Blue Book?" A lot of these things are real. Now they actually tested Bonnie. They're from New Hampshire, I believe. Bonnie and Betty, that UFO case. This was astounding because first of all, they were afraid to come out because if you know they were like a biracial one. I think Bonnie was African American and Betty was white. So hey, Betty White. But so they were afraid to come out back in the day because this is what 60s or 70s, I think it was. I'm trying to remember exactly when that decade that was. But what I found intriguing about it was this. When they brought them in there, they gave them a lie detector test, both of them separate rooms, asked them the same question. They both passed with flying colors. Flying colors. How is that possible? Unless they were actually telling the truth. So I believe it's the real deal. Now, if one of them failed, because, okay, one of them seems to get his lies pretty straight or her lies pretty straight. The other one failed miserably, but they both passed with flying colors and unequivocally passed. They didn't like kind of borderline. They passed. So what's that tell you? You know, me personally, I think, um, it's the real deal. Now, some people will scoff at this. There was never any, they were never taken in a UFO. And I'm talking about any, you know, uh, anybody going to these UFOs telling and saying they've been snatched up and everything else. Um, I think, somebody will say, "Oh, this is a bunch of crock." I don't know about that. When these people tell the truth, when they're actually, I think they were in the car and then, the car shut down, and they were literally taken aboard these crafts and stuff like that, and they passed. Both, they both told the same stories in totally different rooms. Um, and, anybody could do that if you think about it. Hey, just come up with a good story. Answer it this way if they ask you this, if they ask you that. But for them to pass completely, you can still screw up. You can still, your body can tell lies, even though you're not. You know what I mean? Your body, your heart rate, perspiration, so on and so forth, tells it all. So, and these guys pass with no problem whatsoever. So, Robert Zilstra, you said, Chris, what is needed to get full disclosure on, let's say, Mars for the sake of argument? I don't know if, I think we're seeing slow, kind of a drip disclosure, if you will. This is the reason why we're seeing some things in these photos, like whether it be the moon, Mars, and other telltale things that are going on. I think it's like a slow drip thing. In other words, and I've said this before, I think what it is people, they look at it like this. If there's people wanting to know, so they're saying, people who are ambitious enough to want to find out, they'll do the research, they'll find these things, they'll be in the know. The people that don't, they go, they're just pretty rocks, nothing more. Well, then they're just going to go on with their life. They're going to, work, come home, sit down to their little sitcoms, eat your dinner and then go to sleep and repeat the next day. But the people who want to know are going to be in the know, as far as I'm concerned. And I think they're doing it very slowly because if they really wanted to, the guys, they could just say, we'll just block every single darn thing out. Nobody will see anything and there'll be nobody checking these photos out. There'd be no reason to, but there's a reason. They're letting this stuff out slowly, but they're doing it. Oops. Stephen Wagner said your take on Planet X, Nibiru. The if you go back to the ancient Sumerians where they talked about the Anunnaki and stuff like that coming here, you can read up on this stuff. Um, their take on it was there was another planet, right? It was actually considered, I think, the 10th planet. And, they were, I'm trying to remember how they did this now. They were like this. I'm trying to remember if it was the seventh planet, but the way they had this thing was the moon, all the planets, and then their planet. And actually, I'm sorry, there was the sun, our moon, and all the planets and their planet, and they come up to like 10, or they called it the 12th planet. It's just weird the way they come out with it, but you got to read up on the story. It is pretty interesting. Um, you know, it's supposed to be a 3,600 elliptical orbit through our solar system, Planet X. Now, scientists have found well, they call it the ninth planet now because they believe Pluto is not a planet, but it would have been the 10th planet. Even they called it the Planet X, but they don't believe it like you know uh, Nibiru. They just believe, oh, it's just another planet, another body. But they call it, I think it's every 10,000 years. They say the elliptical orbit is. So I don't know this. Um, and so it's kind of like this weird thing, right? Um, let me see something. Whoops. I hate when this thing jumps on me like this. Glenn, you said the Hill case. Whoop, The Hill case is one of the few abduction cases I give credence to simply because there was no uh, precedent before it, and meaning there was no other cases. And they had every reason to keep quiet because of their interracial marriage and the times. Exactly. And so it makes it all legit if you really think about it, because they didn't have to come out. They didn't have to say any of that. But the fact that they did, and then they were put under these lie detector tests, and they both passed with flying colors, tells me, wow, what? Crazy. Floyd B said, "Yeah, that's what they all do. Watch Netflix so they can't see the bigger picture, not realizing what's really going on." Well, and that's the thing. I don't mind watching a good movie. I'll watch a good sci-fi flick. I watch all kinds of stuff. I watch all kinds of car racing videos. I've got an electric car myself, so I watch if you watch, it's pretty funny. Well, not funny. It's actually pretty cool. The Tesla Racing channel. That's pretty funny. Good channel. Anything to do with a mods, to from combustion engine to uh, electric, or just hot rod videos and building and stuff like that. I watch all kinds of stuff like that. Um, so it's a lot of good stuff to watch, And I like to, like I said, I'll sit down and I'll stream a movie or whatever, watch some good stuff. Hmm. What was Max K saying? Something like, Metalhead. I see you guys going back and forth with you. That's why I'm kind of hopping over this. Um, Metalhead. Some people refuse to change their paradigm. Well, and that's the thing. But you get into the rut. You know what I mean? You kind of get into we're a creature of habit, right? So we like to come home and do the same thing all the time. And if you really think about it, you do the same thing. I mean, you get up in the morning, whether you shit shower and shave in the morning or do it at night, whatever the case is. You go to work, do your thing, come back, you have dinner, whatever. Maybe sit down, watch some TV, and maybe read a book, whatever it is you do. Then hit the sheets, and then the next day you start over again. So that's the way I look at it, and a lot of people will do the same thing. It is because, like I said, we are a creature of habit, and it's basically the same thing you could always do. But I like the idea of actually, going into much. I like to open my mind up. I like to see what's going on, right? I did. Yeah, you said I'm not sure if you know the details, but Bonnie and Betty said that the aliens looked like they were wearing military type suits, a scarf, and one had red hair. What do you think? Well, I read some of that, but I wasn't really sure. So what you're saying, I'm not sure of. I didn't read that part. Um, Now, is it possible? That could very well be. I don't know. But that'd be kind of weird, though, right? Because it's kind of like they're taking them up in a military ship. I mean, it's possible. Don't get me wrong. Um, but from what I understood, I mean, like I said, they were pretty clear about their information when they were asked the questions, right? Yep. Noodles Anki. Absolutely. Renee Van, you put on there, I play World of Tanks out of boredom. I actually seen that advertised a few times. Brian on. Fast forward 100 years, Mars travel is cheap and normal. We're traveling to a new city made by Earthlings, and Betty White is still alive. That'd be interesting. Max K, you said, Chris, will you ever give up the hunt, or is it a lifelong mission to prove this is real? Well, I mean, it's a hobby of mine, right? So I like the idea of doing this. I like to find stuff that's in these photos. It, like I said, it's like a crackerjack box. You just don't know what you're going to find, right? So I enjoy it. It's like a pastime for me, and it kind of like, and then, like I said, it's kind of like something I like to do anyway. So, and then I like to do the videos to show you guys what I'm finding. Um, and of course, now it's become where we're all trying to find this stuff. Uh, and that's what's interesting. Everybody else is seeing some stuff too. And so we're all on this ride together where we're trying to find what this may be. Pure guesses a lot of times, 99% of the time, because we don't know what this actual object is. But we can tell it's either intelligently made or not. So if it's intelligently made and you believe that it is, even if we don't know what the object is, again, two questions come to mind. It's intelligently made. Who made it? And why is it on Mars? What the hell? Really? So, yeah. Oh, Metalhead, he's already gone. I mean, you guys, I don't know if you noticed that we had like this influx of morons, and there was like 5 or 6 of them. I think it's amusing. I think it's funny as hell. And it's like they just get in, they're trying to talk all kinds of stupid shit, and it's just like it's funny. I actually wanted, I don't know if you guys see me smirking it for that short time I wasn't saying anything, but I was just like laughing at these people, just thinking they're thinking, oh, we're gonna create havoc. And what are you doing? You are online. Do you understand you could be blocked, you morons? But they just think, oh yeah, we're just we're gonna go from that channel. We know where that channel is. We're gonna go over there and give him a hard time on this channel here. It's like, stop. Don't waste your times, guys. It's not worth it. I mean, you can stay there all day if you like, but the second you start just putting anything stupid, you should get blocked. So what's the point? Why bother? Go do something else with your time. Something much more constructive. Of course, you said pretty impressive, the details you bring out in your Mars pictures. Well, again, all of this stuff is in the photo. The only difference is they're hiding the darker lines so you can't see all the details to them. So most of the time, all I'm using is basically very light burn tool or just different enhancements to try to pop these things. And this is the reason why I'll go back to, you'll see me do the enhancement, and then I'll go back and we'll zoom in and I'll show you the lines are actually there. The only thing I'm doing is just bringing these lines out because they can easily just put like a texture over there, like a lighter texture, but the line's still there. You can still see it. So by doing that and bringing it out, it literally pops these lines. You can see the details and you can see what this shape of this anomalous thing may be. We can get a better idea, right? Oh yeah, Metalhead. Yeah, no problem. I think it's amusing when I sit there and listen to these guys. They all want to raid the channel all at once, or it's just one guy just using these bots or whatever. I was thinking oh, I'm going to show them. I'm going to show them because my life is miserable, so I got to go do it to somebody else. Stop. It's a freaking joke. These guys, they actually do make me laugh. I got to be honest with you guys. Let me watch it. Yeah, you said some people are really sad. It's true. Well, maybe they're bored. They need something to do. Kind of sad. Renee Vaughn, you said, Van, you said, yes, out of boredom, jumped out of my chair yesterday when I saw that you had posted a new video again. Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, I try to get at least a 2 or 3 out. And like I said, I've got, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I got at least 3 more coming out. I'm going to try to get them out. If I don't have to work tomorrow, it's going to be a good day to at least knock one of them out there and get, or maybe 1 or 2. So I'm going to try to at least get the 1 out. So we'll have one over the weekend. All I got to do is I got to make sure I got to check the app because I can tell when the truck's coming in or not. If it isn't, sweet. I can use a day off. I haven't had one off in at least a freaking month. 7 days a week, guys, working hardcore, getting all this stuff out for the public. That's the whole key to me. And it feels good, though, because it's like, it's this big demand. The problem is we're up against the wall because if the warehouse don't have it, you don't get it. Because you got to remember, you got manufacturers make these food supply. They go into warehouses. The warehouses then take trucks, bring them to all of these stores. Doesn't care. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a Kroger's or Walmart. Walmart. It doesn't matter what it is. If they don't have it, well, it all rolls downhill. Then the person in the store doesn't get it. The customer. So it's kind of sad. It sucks. Aggravates me sometimes too because I can't get the stuff to bring to the people. But a lot of times we get it in and I don't know how many times I've heard people say, "Oh, I appreciate the hard work you guys do. Man, I could just see you guys working your butts off here." I go, "Well, you know, got to do what you got to do to get it out." Glenn, you said, Chris, do you think it's possible we have people on Mars currently? I heard that we do back in the 70s. Now, I don't know how true that is because I can't prove that. But it would not surprise me. Again, we had the moon missions from like what, 69 to 72 or 68 to 72, whatever it might have been. And we had all of these missions. So we know we can at least get to the moon. Is it possible we could have built a better spacecraft, which carried more oxygen, more atmospherics for the actual, for these astronauts to go? Very possible. Why couldn't they? Now as far as living long enough to get there and the older technology, which I don't know if I'd call it older technology. We're still using the same technology, right? We're just now coming out with better rockets, but uh, was it the Saturn V we're using just about how long? But the thing is, it's like if they could have done that and gotten there, they could have easily landed. And even if they like died there, they could have took all kinds of pictures and stuff like that, sent them back and whatever. It's hard to tell. With the findings of possible, with the finding out of the possible secret space program years ago by Gary McKinnon, and now the Space Force. What's your take on all that? Well, again, Gary was actually pretty smart when he hacked into the system, and he found like a list of off-worlders, these people that are in the military back in the day. And these people were like, they were not, it was like, again, it was a Space Force or secret space program. So, yeah, it would not surprise me that this has been going on for quite some time. Even the 80s, it blew up big time where they had this, the Star Wars project and all this other stuff going on. So it would not surprise me if we actually went there. At least if we went there and, like I said, I hate to see anything catastrophic happen, but maybe they got there, landed there just to check out a few things and maybe something happened. Maybe it did not. Maybe they made it back with no problem. Who knows at this point, right? Max K, you said, I hope you don't. I love what you do. Well, I appreciate that, Max. Like I said, I enjoy doing it. I mean, it's something I enjoy doing anyway, and that's why I decided to stop making videos because I wanted to pass it on to everybody else. Because, like I said before, it's like I don't care who you watch on these channels because a lot of people do these, right? The real Jimmy Roberts. You got Will from What's Up in the Sky, 37. All kinds of people are doing this now. There's a lot of good researchers on Facebook. They don't even do videos. They just do, Facebook stuff, and they just see stuff in pictures and post them. And the fact that other people will take over once we stop doing it. So that's the hopes and keep doing this is not to try to bring the truth out. Even if we can't make out what these things are, clearly there's something in it that's intelligently made. And that's what I love revealing these things because I love seeing what's in there. Going like I said, it's like a kid in a candy store. Oh, wow, what is that this time? Because you don't know what you're going to find in these, and that's what makes it interesting, right? So, yeah. Oops. MC Gamer. Oh, hail Gary McKinnon. Yeah, I mean, they had everything from what was it like higher brass and everything up on these lists. It was like crazy how much he saw. Um, I would love to be able to. We've actually talked to him one time. There was a bunch of us on there that talked to him, and he's the real deal. I mean, he had to go into hideout and everything else, and crazy stuff. So, you know, just so he can actually not, be extradited and stuff like that. Ab0303, what's going on? Haven't seen you in a while. He says, Stephen Greer, Daco Unacknowledged. I've seen it. That's actually pretty interesting. On Netflix is interesting. It is. If anybody's got Netflix, check it out. Unacknowledged. Pretty good stuff. Corey said, crazy how we can see so much detail on the moon without eye and an eye, and it's pretty far. Well, yeah, because it's pretty large, right? We have the largest moon per size of our planet. If you look at all the other planets, their moons are quite small. Um, so ours is the largest in our solar system per the size of our planet. So our satellite's pretty big compared to any other planet, right? So Pete Ferrero, he said, keep losing your picture. Reboot takes forever. Huh. Anybody else having that problem? Having any, like picture going out on you, or is it working okay? It's got to be something to do with the internet. It could be like a local thing, right? Where, like I said, I've done that. Where like on a Sunday, forget it. Everybody's like on the internet, and I got pretty decent internet. It's pretty fast, and yeah, it's pretty crazy. Oh, you seen it, MC Gamer? You seen that documentary? Yeah, it's pretty good. I liked it. Josh D said our moon is ridiculously big compared to. I'm not sure what that is. He said compared to something. Oh, to the moons of other planets. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we're the only one. That's why it's kind of this weird thing. It's like, we get a solar eclipse, boom, it literally blocks out the sun just perfectly. That's why it's always, everybody questions the moon. Is it an artificial satellite? Is it all natural? Is it, anything living on it? So on and so forth. There's so many questions. Why did it ring out, for hours on end when they slammed it with the third stage of the rocket? All kinds of crazy questions. So they believe it's just the details of the moon is just way too uncanny to be a natural satellite. But who knows? I haven't been up there to check it, so I don't know. Glenn Darren, he said, okay, this could start a war, but Bob Lazar, anyone care to share opinions? I guess I'd be very interested as to try to keep an open mind. Bob to me is the real deal. They literally try to stomp his ass too. They try to make him disappear. They said he didn't work at these certain areas like Area 51. In a lot of places they said they did not work. They try to make him basically disappear. Um, I think they even screwed his social security and everything, like he didn't even exist. But the guy is the real deal. I mean, he actually had, and I've said this before. There's an older video with him when he was younger, where he built his own car. I think it was on hydrogen. I think it was, and he's got his own, you know, basically his own pump that makes it a hydrogen little plant type thing and works on solar. And he put it into like an mid 80s Corvette. And so, yeah, I mean, it's, the guy's a real deal. I mean, the guy is definitely what he says. As far as technologically, he's very smart when it comes to that. And I don't believe he'd be lying about what he's seen. They probably figured, hey, the government's probably saying, listen, just because the guy's out, we'll just make it look like he's the only one out there saying this. So they'll all think he's a whack job. And many people may think he's that way. I don't think he is at all. I think the guy's a real deal. And, he talked about how reversing engineering and these things and taking some of these things apart and the drives that some of these things had. I believe he's telling the truth. Now, can I say that for 100%? No. But I believe he is. I want to say a big shout out to Stig. What's going on, Stig? That's sweet. What's going on? He said, "What do you think about those Starlink satellites?" Well, I think they're pretty interesting, and I think it'll help for these remote countries that don't have internet or anything like that. There is kind of controversial, BS going on. Like people are just kind of pissed off that, especially for the stargazers, to seeing these things. Oh my God, what is that? It's like, and you can see that some of these people have it on the internet where they show like a whole link of these things when they first put them out. There's a whole string of these things that you can see with the telescope with ease. As small as they are, you can still see them, and some people have seen like the whole line of them. So it's pretty interesting. They're trying to make it so it doesn't do that because think about it. We actually have telescopes here on Earth. I'm talking about large land-based telescopes where it could get in the way, and that's what they're concerned about. But if you get the Hubble, clearly it's not going to be, it's not going to affect it. But anything on Earth is going to may have a problem. That's what they don't like the idea of that. But I can't see how they can really affect them too much. Josh D, the moon is as natural as my plastic flowers. So you don't believe that. Robert, you said, Chris, before I go to bed, I want to mention that a friend of mine is involved in the development of a kind of photo scraper for the medical industry. Every layer can be digitally removed. Thanks a lot. I'd like to be able to see that software, work with some of that. But Robert, like I said, if you're taking off, you have yourself a good night there, good weekend there, right? And try to stay away from people. It'll help, trust me. Max K said, "Hell yeah, lockdown sucks, but it's the best in the situation, I suppose. Stay safe." That's the way I look at it. Like I said, if they sent me home and said, "Oh, you're gonna have to go home for 2 or 3 weeks," okay, should I party now or, it wouldn't bother me in the least bit. I'd be like, "Yeah." HDOS 1AV, you said that all of the puzzle pieces, when fitting together, start to show a picture, especially on the moon. Yeah, I mean, the more you look at these, it's one thing to take one picture and say, I don't agree. I don't think, what you're seeing is the real deal. But when you start to break all these things down and start to see these different things in different photos, and you're going, okay, it can't be, is it possible it's every damn photo that there's something in it? I think I was accused of that one time. Oh, for every damn photo you look at, something's in it. Well, yeah. Why do you think they're there? You gotta look at the reason why they're there to begin with. And if they're taking these photos and they're hiding things in the photos, what are they hiding? Why do they feel the need to hide any of it? Same thing it goes with Mars. So the fact that they're there proves that there's something to see. So they're taking photos of something and then they're blocking it out. It's not complicated. Yes, just about everything in every one of these photos, there's something in it to see, but it's almost like you have to decipher it. You got to look through the BS in order to find it, right? I mean, I see you're talking to Frank, Frack rather. Got me a few Impalas. Nice. Older ones, we talking about 68, 69s, anywhere around there? Going to do them up and on this lockdown, 3 inch. 3 inch, we talking exhaust or what are we talking? That'd be pretty sweet. I think you had one of your restoration videos on your channel, didn't you? Was it you, Limey, that had that on there? Of course, I'm not exactly sure why. With the question, you said like how does the Earth and the Moon just never never go anywhere else? They're just locked in an orbit. Earth is locked in orbit, and of course, the Moon is locked in our orbit. It's tidal locked in orbit with Earth. I mean, it's pretty much that's the way it is. MC Gaming said, "I'm off to work for a week. I'm off work rather for a week from a security officer to a teacher. I'm going to be to teach my 11-year-old and 7-year-old about the moon and Mars. Man, nothing wrong with that. But man, I'd love to have a week off. That'd be sweet. I wouldn't know how to act. Let's see what crazy I'm again. Clerks 93. I didn't see you pop in there. You said Starforge, bro. Yeah, you had mentioned that before. And like I said, if here's the thing too, if you ever want to drop links on some of these things, go ahead and do that because I'm sure a lot of people would like to read up on it if you do have it, because it would be interesting, right? Brian Norton says, haha, sounds like you need a day off or two, Chris. Oh, God, yeah. Lord knows I do. Glenn, you said I heard Bigelow has had to shut down operations in his company due to this stupid virus. Might have closed permanently. Uh, Hopefully not. If I could bail out any company, I would. It would be this. Be his rather. Yeah, he won't ever shut it down. I mean, they just got too much money to shut down. They're just doing it just for the sake of let's make sure everybody's healthy and get back to work. It's better to have this one little hiccup instead of having everybody get sick and then okay, who do you have run the company? So it's better to have this little hiccup where you shut down for like a week or two or three even, and just have people stay home, and then when they come back, they're healthy and they're right back to work as strong as ever, and the company's going. If you just continue, this is nothing, and then everybody in the place gets sick, how do you run a company? You just don't. So you better have to take the precautions and just people stay home, right? Oh no, I've got it there, Renee. Ah. Robert Zilstra, you said, sorry, Chris. Thank you again for investing some of your precious time in us. Enjoy the weekend and stay healthy. Well, you do the same, Robert. I appreciate that. And well, like I said, I mean, to me, it's like at first it was like I come on here to show the videos and show you what I see is anomalous, right? But now it's become like a community where it's like all family. Everybody just gets together, talks about different subjects. Um, even with the videos you guys seen, the last two I did, some crazy things in there. It just doesn't make sense. And they clearly do not look natural on a lot of these things. Like that piece that looked like it was sticking out, looked like a pipe. Now, somebody had mentioned, and I don't know if you're on here because I don't remember, see if I can try to remember the name. But you had said it looks like a spindle from like, it looked like, trying to remember, it's basically from a machine, like uh, trying to remember what it was. But anyway, you said it was like a spindle, right? Um, I think it was from a lathe, and it really did look like that. It was coming out of this piece, and it looked like some kind of spindle. But somebody had mentioned it looked like coming out of like a shape of a car. It looked like it was coming out. Yeah, that's not a rock, there, guys. It's something either multiple machine parts or it's one big piece, and they're just blending it, just squaring it off, making it look like it's just like this weird, funky looking shaped rock. And clearly, it's not, right? I watch them every now and then, Jesse. Yeah, you said, Chris, you're a fan of Coast to Coast. I am. Yeah, I actually watch them once in a while. I don't really have a whole lot of time lately, so I can't really do that. But um, so yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is like, every now and then if I can watch them, I do. You know, they got some really good stuff on there. Noodles, yeah, oil had a little hiccup too. Pretty much, right? Custom tailored one. What's going on, man? Looks like you just popped in there. Howard Huxley, was that you that said that about that horizontal boring mill? It looked like something from a lathe, though. You got the lathe piece itself where you bring into uh, when you depending on what you're going to do with it. But yeah, I mean, pretty interesting. I mean, it looked a lot like it when you pointed that out. I was like, damn, I'll be damned if it wasn't. It didn't look like that. Oh, okay, yeah. Howard Huxley, yeah, he said, "Yep, some kind of machine tool." Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that we're finding these parts on there. I mean, that thing just stood out. Like, I mean, it's just right there. How anybody can think that's a rock is beyond me, but you know how it goes, right? Yeah, I see so many things in these, and people go, "Oh man, they're just rocks." Wow, really? Yeah. Royce Earls, he said a lot of people are losing jobs due to the price war. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it'll rebound. That won't be an issue because if you think about it, people are like, well, like a lot of these business like ours right now is coming to a, and I said this about a week ago. I said, guys, this is going to stop quick. I'm telling you right now, we need to lay off on the ordering because we're going to end up with so much of it. We're going to have backstock and everything else. Um, and it's true. It's like it come to a screeching halt because everybody, basically all the food is saturated the area, right? Everybody's got food now. There's no point in coming back. Unless, of course, you're just like an every weeker, in other words, you come in every week and you buy your stuff, then that's normal. But as far as the frenzy, I still don't understand why toilet paper still is, but that's beyond it. But we're starting to catch up. We're starting to stock the shelves like a lot of other places are. Again, like Walmart's, Kmart's, well, not Kmart so much because they've closed in my area, but Kroger's and stores like that, Stop and Shops, they're all actually now restocking their shelves, so it's going up and getting a lot better. So people now be able to disperse and go to different stores now. So it is slowing down, which is a good thing. So people are able to stay home. It's going to help them in the long run. Yeah, Jesse, you said if I were George Norrie, I'd get you on the air ASAP. Well, I like to. I know my buddy Billy Carson is. He's been on with him quite a bit. I wouldn't mind maybe put the birdie in his ear, right? So, what do you think, man? Hook me up. Pete's Vlogs, thank you very much for your support, man. As usual. I know you disagree, but I do believe that there are bad aliens. I mean, don't get me wrong, there could very well be. Um, the only reason why I say probably not is only because that if there were, two things are happening. They're just not interested in us because if you think about it, if they were bad, they'd say, "Oh, why don't we just take over the planet, take what they own or what they have." But to them, if they're really advanced, why would they find anything that we have even remotely usable for themselves, right? Or there are good aliens keeping them away from us. Could that be the case? Um, I mean, it could very well be actually bad aliens. I don't know. It's kind of like there's a lot of good people here on the planet Earth, and there's a lot of bad people you don't want to be affiliated with or even want to know, let alone, right? So, um, yeah, I mean, it could very well be. Like I said, the only reason why I say probably not, only because, like I said, I think, because a lot of people get worried about that. Where do you think they're coming to kill us all? It's like, I think they would have done that back by now if they were that bad and really, cared about just wiping out the human population on this planet, right? Now, is it possible they just don't give a damn? Yeah, whatever. They ain't nothing to worry about. Or, like I said, like you have this good and bad playing in space where there's good aliens and bad. I don't know. Could very well be. Oops. But again, Pete's Vlogs, I appreciate your support as always. Yeah, you can never rule it out. I'm just saying, like I said, I find it hard to believe because, like I said, they probably would have, taken over us or at least had an influence on us, right? But I don't know. I can't say for certain. I don't think anybody can. If you guys haven't hit that like button, hit that like button, slam it, bam, hammer time. Clerks 93 says I'm still working. Yeah, there you go. I don't know if you're in the essential work, but yeah. X15, you put it, it's the whole planet that the malevolence would want, not the folks on it. Well, that's what I'm saying. They would just kill us all off, right? So I'm not saying that there couldn't, it's impossible for bad aliens. It could very well be. So it just makes you wonder what's stopping them from just saying, we'd like to take the planet for ourselves, unless it's an atmosphere that they can't live on, that it's something they just couldn't live on itself. Because we don't know what they live on, right? We have no idea. Michael Starkey said each ET civilization has both good and bad members, more good than bad, just like us humans. Yeah, exactly, exactly, yeah. And I agree wholeheartedly. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there was um, what the heck? What channel was that? I think his name was Praveen. He actually has a good channel where he talks. He's from India, and he talks about all these ancient civilizations. And he's been in a few places too. I don't know if he's been to Angkor Wat's over in Cambodia and different places, but um, he was actually showing. He was talking about the coronavirus, and they literally had a woman going into an elevator. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it had the camera in the corner of the elevator, looking down, of course, onto anybody who gets in the elevator. And the woman who was on there, there's like this, like a little pocket in the wall, and they had like tissue there. So she blew her nose. I guess she had to run, and she stuck it right back in there. But that wasn't the bad part. The bad part was she just proceeded to spit all over the buttons in the elevator, and then sat back. And the way he said it was that now watch how she laughs gleefully as the next person comes in, because now they're pushing the buttons because they want to go to the floor they want to go to. I'm saying, what is wrong with people? And then he showed another video where, like if you're on a train, you're sitting there holding on to the rails. So like if you're standing up and not sitting down, or maybe a bus where he had a face mask on. So he takes it off, licks his fingers, and puts it all over the pole. I'm thinking, what the hell is wrong with people? I mean, wow. I'm just mind blown. You know what I mean? It just makes no sense. The more I know people, the more I love my cats. Not all people, of course. You guys know that. Because there's a lot of good people. I know a lot of good people, and I got a lot of good people here, man. I couldn't ask for better people. So to me, it's just like, but some people, it just makes you wonder what is going on. And there was something in the news where these young kids went off into one of these stores, and they're licking these shopping cart handles. They're laughing at people with face. What the hell? And then I heard one of them caught the coronavirus. I went, well, you weren't asking for that, right? Like, oh, man. Photography Light Magic. The first flying saucer I see, I'm going to ask the bugger to get me the F out of this infected planet. Yeah. I even said this to my wife. I said, man, I'll tell you what, I'd take a one-way trip right now to Mars in a hurry. It's like, it just, I don't know. It's just crazy. Let me jump down here. Whoop. I seen that same one, Photography Light Magic, what you just explained there. When we are all dead and the aliens come to Earth, they will look upon us and say, there might have been a effed up species, but they have clean arses. Yeah. I seen that. I think it was on Facebook as one of the memes or something. Pete's Vlog says, smash it good. Smash that like button. Bam. Renee says, like the thumbs up button was hit before I saw the chat. Sweet. Well, that's true, X15. You said the yin and yang exists throughout the whole universe. Yep, there's always going to be good and bad. But like the yin and yang, if you know the yin and yang, you got the black and you got the white. It's saying there's good in some of the bad and bad in some of the good. So there is, and it's constantly revolving. Pete's Vlog, he said, what if the coronavirus was put here by aliens? Well, we were talking about that earlier. I don't know if you were here, but we were talking about how it's basically I actually posted this earlier, and it says this Professor Francis Boyle update on coronavirus bioweapon, and it's manufactured by a couple other like flu strains and stuff like that. They put this together, and they basically made this. So it's a bioweapon kind of thing, and it's somehow they either think it got out or whatever the case is, but. Yes, Jasti. Yeah, Praveen Mohan. Yeah. But he's had that. If you've seen it, Jasti, you know what I'm talking about. He had just posted that. What? No, this wasn't him, but this was a different one. But he was talking about the coronavirus on his channel, and he did a really good job of it too. Let me see. But so I don't think it was anything by aliens, but that doesn't mean it can't, because I was saying earlier too that somebody had said, well, there was not too long prior to this, there was like a small meteorite had hit close to China. So is it possible we could get something from outer space? I think so. Why couldn't you? Especially if things can ride along like these microbial life on this rock, and it happens to be inside the rock, breaks open or whatever, and there you go. Kind of like the blob. Oh, but you know what I'm saying. So it's very possible that um, it could be from space. I'm not saying this particular one was, but why couldn't it? Is anything other strain, right? Yeah, Jesse and Josh D, you both got it. Yeah, Praveen. So you guys are familiar with him as well. Does a really good job. I like his channel. Andrew, you said if aliens came and really wanted to kill us, they would likely use a deadly virus to kill us all without destroying structures, which they could use for themselves. Exactly. Or, like I said, unless they're so far advanced that they just look at us like, oh, that's sad. They just look down at us like we're just like little peasants. Oh, that's sad. Look at the way and they're still so far off before they become like us. How do we know? But and the planet, it may not be something that their bodies are used to, right? Whether it be the gravity, the air, it's hard to tell. Yeah, yeah, Jesse, you seen that one too? Then, yeah, she spit on the buttons and then watched. Yeah, she's like the way he describes it, says she's like sitting there gleefully, like, like she's really happy that this person's going to get infected. I'm like, why in the hell? Why are there people like this on this planet? It's crazy how it's like that. Oh, I didn't see that, Renee Cruz. You said coyote sightings have been on the rise in streets of San Francisco. It's been a ghost town caught on CCTV. Huh? I have to check that out. Custom Tailored One, you said great video last night, Chris. There's always seems to be an abandoned equipment in these videos. The equipment either resembles farming or mining type tools. Yeah, you can see all kinds of weird, I don't even know what the hell they are. We can only speculate as to what these things could be, but clearly they're not natural. It's not a rock. Again, they're using rock mimicking software to make it look like a rock, but yet you can see things sticking out of them that clearly are not rocks. And like I said, that one yesterday was like so blatant. It looked like that pipe or some kind of something protruding out of this somewhat rock, if you want to call it that. But there's so much in there, these photos that, wow, when you just have to look at something that doesn't look natural and then just analyze. It may still turn out to be natural, right? We don't know. But then a lot of times it turns out it's not. It's something much more intricate than just a simple rock, or there's something protruding out of this rock. Maybe it's encrusted, or it's manipulation, or both, right? Revelation Humana. He said, I am good people, Chris. Well, it's good to hear. We like good people. John Ward, what's going on? Good to see you there, man. He said, working from home chews up data at the rate of knots. Well, that's true. That's true. Unfortunately, I don't know if, John, if you have, um, if you have like a cap on yours, like some people told me that they got a cap on yours. I can upload like crazy. My kids are on the internet, or my son, and sometimes my daughter will come over and they'll do things. My wife's on the computer, or we're streaming a movie or whatever. We never have any cap. We never goes up in price or whatever. So, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if you got that, but John Ward, good to see you in there, man. If and I tell everybody, if you guys are not familiar with John Ward, go to John Ward's channel and check out the work that he does. I heard you just got some exposure too, John. John, I heard you got some exposure on one of the press things. Good on you if that's the case. Glenn, you said coronavirus may be something that spewed off of the interstellar or more asteroid and took some time to travel to Earth. I mean, it's a possibility, but the way it's looking right now, that it actually is something to do with is a bioweapon. That's basically what it's saying. Um, yeah, that's a good question, Pete. I haven't seen Rachel in a long time. Where's she been hiding? Oh, 80 gigabyte. Okay. Damn. Yeah, right. You can chew that shit up in a hurry. But yeah, I mean, I don't have a cap on mine. And, it's actually pretty good. And I haven't seen any rise in the price or anything like that. And of course, maybe I haven't just used it enough to actually basically redline it and go over that, right? And you end up in a different tier. I don't know. Oh, okay, John. You said Sidonia Institute. No kidding. Oh, good on you, man. That's awesome. Cheers. Um, and here's the thing too. It's like, it's good that this stuff is getting out periodically, to these presses and stuff like that. Some is kind of bogus. I've seen some people doing this. Um, and I'm saying to myself, how are they even seeing anything in this photo? But I know you do a lot of satellite stuff, Jean, and that's good because some of the stuff you've pointed out is, my God, there's no way this shit's natural. You can see like this round stone with a square stone on top of it. It's like, how does that even make sense? And some of the 90-degree angles and these megalithic, what look like stones, there's no way that stuff. I'm not saying that Mother Nature cannot make a 90-degree, corner or any of that sort, right? Absolutely can, but on the other side of the token, when you see many of them, along with different shapes, all in one area, it just makes you wonder. There's no way, right? Or it's almost impossible. Not always, but it's almost. The Cydonia Institute published a Raptor Zone complex paper. Sweet. That's awesome. All right, there you go. Frack Centurion just subbed to you, Jean Ward. Yeah, I mean, he's got good stuff, guys. Check him out. Good channel. And at some point, he was a little slow to take off, so we helped him out a little bit. Both me and Art Alien TV, Joe from Art Alien TV, he had helped him out, boost him up a little bit because I think he deserves recognition. His channel's awesome, and he's very thorough about what he shows. So, he's very good at what he does. So can I ask for a better channel? So, Daniel Webster, what's going on, man? I haven't seen you in a while. You said hello, Chris, Jean, and everyone else. Good to see you there, Daniel. Robert Harbor, you said, I don't usually comment very often, but I always watch. The FBI already arrested Professor Charles Lieber and 2 Chinese nationals 2 days before the breakout in Wuhan. It's on the DOJ. Oh, really? Daniel Webster said she can make a 90-degree angle, even a square, but you're right when you see multiple ones in the same area when you're seeing when you are seeing construction. Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't care about 90-degree angles because you can see them in nature, right? That's not a secret. But when you start to see, like, let's say multiple 90 degrees, and then you start to see circles and everything in the same area, or round things with holes in the middle, what? I mean, it's just too much in one area to be natural. That's the way I look at it. Now, is it possible that you could do that? Sure. I mean, but I don't think so. I think what we're seeing here is actual stuff that's encrusted from years of being on Mars, whatever it may be, whether the weathering and plus the dust flying around, and it'll crust it over the course of time. It'll bury things because of the dirt flying around. Yeah, there's so much there. You know what I mean? Jean Ward says, thank you, Chris. Thanks to you and Chris and many, many of your subs. Yeah, I mean, I always support a channel, that, when I watch it and I said, man, this guy's like, he's on his shit. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. And I'm more than happy to back a channel that I believe is doing the right thing. I don't have any problem with it. So, John, you do all the work. I'm not doing it. So, like I said, cheers to you for doing the work that you do. Like I said, anybody who hasn't jumped on his channel, go over and jump over there. Good stuff. Richard, you said, hi, Jean. Good to see you. I had a 30 gigabyte cap on my connection, so I feel your pain. My SP has just removed it for free. Well, they should. There's no reason why. And I don't know what you guys pay for internet, but for the money they're charging me, they'll be down here kissing my ass every week, every down month. But yeah. Noodles, you said John Ward and Chris team up vid? That's a possibility. That's a very good possibility. Noodles, you also said triangles show up too often, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, again, what's the chance of that happening in nature? It just doesn't make sense. I don't know. Like I said, I don't care about one shape, but when you start to see multiple things, like you can clearly see there's something laying there that's encrusted or has been manipulated over, And we're starting to see more of that. And that's where you start to say, okay, wait a minute. 90-degree angles, I'm cool with. A circle, I'm cool with. But when you see all kinds of different shapes and things that look like looks like either pieces of bent steel or wires coming off of different things, is that a rock? I don't know. Is it possible it's organic, meaning roots shooting out of these rocks, coming out from the side? That's a possibility. Either way, it's showing life. They don't want that. But I think they'd rather see you say, oh, it's a root from maybe a tree or underground root or something like that than something intelligently made. So, yeah. That's a good one. I don't know. Craig Blackburn, you said, hi, Chris. Do you think something other than the coronavirus is going on because I smoke outside and have some weird lights like 30 at a time flying in pairs, but they disappear like they are gaining height? I don't know. That's a great question. I have never seen that, but I'm not saying it's not happening. Um, but that'd be interesting to see. That I don't know. What do you guys think? That is pretty interesting. Tatooine is sparsely populated. If the trace is correct, we will find him, Master. At last, we will find the Jedi. At last, we will have our own revenge, Darth Maul Ray Park. Oh, that's pretty funny. Let me see. Hold on a second, guys. Here, let me do this. If you guys want to check out Jean Ward's channel, here is the link here, right to his page. Check his stuff out. I think you guys will like the channel. So Arts and Crafts, there you go. It should be linked down in the bottom now. Glenn, you also said, what about those lights that show up in some of the Mars pics? Do you think they're cosmic rays showing up in the images or something else? It could very well be, Glenn. There was one that a friend of mine did. She had done a while back where it looked like it was off in the very distance, like something was reflecting. And because the rover had just happened to be at that certain angle, it was getting a reflection off of it. And it was a light. It was actually looked like a reflecting light or some kind of bright light. Weird. But it was almost like dusk. So it's probably easy to see, right? Daniel Webster said that's why the government's taking over and giving orders because of people like that. Well, that could very well be. Stig, you can take it off. He said, "Gotta go. Hope all of you are safe, and looking forward to the next video, Chris." Well, I appreciate you, Stig. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. X15, he said, "As Putin, the master of chem warfare, strikes, he might know the truth. I suspect. Could very well be. Well, if you think about it, well, hold on. Let me see here." This is for work. One of the co-workers asked me to check the app. Say no deliveries, but Adam, he said, "What up from down under, Chris? Hope all is well. Your last Mars vid was awesome." Well, I appreciate it, Adam, and hope you guys are staying safe down in Australia. Just try to stay the hell away from everybody. That's what I tell everybody, right? Arts and Craft says she's subscribing right to Jean Ward's, and like I said, does a lot of good work, and it's a good addition to any channel like mine. And like I said, and he's also said the same thing. He's gave me props when I got him some subscribers. I feel it's right, and because of YouTube will not recognize you unless you got at least, I think it's, is it 1,000 subs and like 10,000? Oh no, 4,000 hours of watch time. I'm like, what? So it's hard for a channel to get started, and that's what sucks. And they don't recognize you unless you get at least that. So it does suck. I think it's like 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of viewing time. So yeah, but he's long surpassed that, and he's doing good. So I said I like the channel. So no problem, John. You know what I mean? Do your thing. And like I said, maybe we'll get together sometime. We'll just do like a just like kind of like a thing like this here, and we'll have people on here. And we'll have them asking questions and stuff like that. That'd be interesting, right? Whoop! They just jumped on me here. Renee, that's pretty funny. We are the Borg. Resistance is futile. You will be assimilated. Oops. Custom Taylor One, you said just briefly checked out John Ward's channel. It looks interesting. I will have to spend more time on it. Yeah, Custom Taylor One, you like it. Like I said, I love the idea because I do the ground work, and he basically does the satellite, a lot of the satellites. He does do extra stuff too, but he does a lot of the satellites and really looks down at these things. Pretty decent as far as the photo quality too. Because we're looking at the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. And it's, like I said, it has a telescopic lens. It's a good sized camera or telescope where, like I said, if you're average of 5'8" to 6 foot, you can get in a fetal position and fit inside this camera and this telescope type thing. It's huge. And it can see down to a 4-foot swath of ground. That's how close this thing can get. Of course, we never see these, wonder why, but they say they can do that. And if that's the case, they're seeing all kinds of crazy shit on the ground. This is the reason why they're navigating this rover to go where they want it to go. Oh yeah, we can do that, John. You said we could hang out, Skype in the near future. Works for me. Roy Searle says, thanks for exposing the truth, Chris and Jean. Brian Norton says, Chris, is your wife cool with the time you spend making videos and chat time? Just curious. No, not at all. She doesn't have any problem with it. Because this, like I said, this is like my side thing. It's something I like to do. And she'll do the same thing. She'll just, whether it's, talking to friends on, either with our daughters, because they're out, they're not in the house. And like I said, I got one in Florida. And then you've got, stuff, she likes to touch base with her friends on Facebook and all this other stuff. So she doesn't mind. And we have plenty of quality time. We just go out and eat and do all kinds of stuff. So it's not like she's like shut out from it. You know what I mean? So that's not even an issue either. Yeah, Jean, I noticed that too. They don't recommend our channels. It's almost like they're just saying, well, they're conspiracy, but they're not. And as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing conspiracy about saying, hey, look, I see this thing on here. And clearly it looks not natural. It looks like something intelligently made. How is that conspiracy? I don't get it. Let me see what he's saying now. That's pretty funny. I'm glad you said or asked how much worse could it be if the government finally disclosed rather. I'm saying disposed, possibly aliens, as opposed to the total shutdown of the economy for the pandemic virus that's forcing most of the world to shelter in their homes. It could be a lot worse. Depending on how. Depending on, they're just saying the implications would be like some people would freak out. They think like just all kind of anything to do with the churches would collapse. A lot of people would probably bug. And I'll tell you what, to be honest with you, the way people are acting just with this virus, I don't know. I'm starting to question the human race, man, and how they would actually react to that if they found out, oh, there was alien life or some kind of, civilization on Mars. People go, really? They'd start bugging out because of it. I mean, look at the way they reacted. And now, again, this is to be taken serious, but I mean, to the point where it's like really people are like going, some people are going off the deep end, and you guys have seen this yourself, right? It's just crazy how that is. Lance Blanco says Putin knows some shit. He was going to give full disclosure, but then he went dead silent, almost like someone got to him. Can you imagine what was said to him to scare him completely silent on that? Well, yeah. And you look at, Putin. It's not like he's just like a nobody, right? So, yeah. Sean, yeah. I mean, it is kind of like that, right? It's kind of like uh, it's it is addicting. It's kind of like because you don't know what you're going to find in the next photo, right? So, you're looking at certain areas and stuff like that, like yourself. You're doing satellite views and you're going, just kind of like looking over it, perusing over, it, and then all of a sudden, boom, you see something. You go, wow, look at this. And I'm sure there's ton of, and I tell people this. It's like they go, oh, every photo because I have like every now and then a person will say, oh, it's like everything you see, man, is like something in a photo. No, actually, it's not. I don't know how many photos you've seen where there's nothing in there to say. Next, 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 and then finally you stumble on something and go, "Oh wow, there's something here that's got some meat to it." So I'll go ahead and make a video about it. It's not everything. Not everything has something in it, um, but when there is, by God, you're going to make sure you post it, right, so people can see it, and it makes it easier on you. Like you said, you don't have any wife or kids, so I have a lot of time to do research. You said. I'm addicted to it. I think. Yeah, I mean it's a cool pastime too because you're like it's something you're seeing that's on another planet, so it makes you like wow. It makes you open your mind and broaden your mind, right? Yeah, Alan, Christina, you said I love how greedy people. I learned. I'm sorry, how greedy people are from this virus. You got that right. Renee Von Oosterhood, you put it in, Chris. I'm not going to be able to sponsor you here, but I buy merchandise every now and then. I recently ordered a sticker. Next time, order something else. Appreciate uh, all your works to pop your videos on. Oh, no problem. Like I said, you guys being here just to support, just the actual support itself is awesome. I mean, I say that all the time, and I mean that. Whether it's just regular support, saying Chris, you're doing great work. That means a lot to me. And then monetary. Plus, you guys are buying the merch. I appreciate it, and I can't say it enough because it's just telling me like you're glad to be part of the channel. You're researching this stuff yourself. You're seeing this stuff, so you're just happy to be able to do it too. And so it means a lot in a lot of ways. It's not just that itself, right? So I appreciate anything, you know that. But I do appreciate your support. Hog? Sound like a big old holly just went by. So yeah, I appreciate either way, Renee. Noodles, you said I try to line up waypoints on the Martian surface using Jean Ward's channel, and there's lots of them. Oh yeah, absolutely. Pete Ferreri said, "You conspire to tell the truth. Very troublesome to those who wish to control info." Well, yeah, and that's exactly right. And it's funny how because John Woods he did say that he said they won't like a lot of times it'll say suggested on the right hand side when you're watching a video. You won't see too many people advertising. That's why I say like in my videos I say guys try to put this where you can, whether it's on your maybe there's a site that you're a part of that's either UFOs or Mars or whatever. Post the videos on there because people will see this, the word will get out, it'll open people's minds, they will become awoken, or awaken, or depending how you want to look at it. So it's about spreading that, and then people seeing this, and it makes people, oh wow, this is cool. Some people will say, oh, I think it's bogus, and some people say, wow, I've never noticed that like that before. So that's what it's all about. It's about awakening people and getting them out of the slumber. And then, well, I had people come to me saying on the channel to say, I always thought this was BS. He said, I come to your channel and I said, well, I'll give this guy a fair shake. And, I'm glad I did because you're not trying to jam it down people's throat like a lot of channels try to do. They're trying to say, this is it. Therefore it is. You guys got to believe. No, I don't want to do that. That's the last thing I want to do because I got people here that have got brains of their own. They can think for themselves. I want people to say, no, I don't agree with you, Chris. I believe it's something else. Then by all means, you should do that because I'm not here to jam it down your throat. I'm here to say, this is what I found. This is what I believe it may be. What do you guys think it is? That's what it's all about. Nothing more. And we get together as a whole and we say, well, yeah, let's analyze this. What do we think this is? And that's why I say leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think, because that's I want to hear it. And then you see me put like a thumbs up and like the heart, like I did read it, and sometimes I'll just quickly respond. But you guys seen some of the videos? I mean, some of these things are like wham. The comments are ungodly. I get a ton of them, right? Dan, you said clearly they are leaving stuff in the pictures and hiding stuff. I think that it is so they can say they didn't hide everything. We left stuff in the pictures. It's a possibility anyway. Yeah, absolutely. And, if they're leaving this stuff purposely, you have to ask yourself, okay, so why the little things here and there? Is it because they're saying, like I said, if you want to know what this is, if you want to search it out, you will find it. If you just go, oh, nice rocks, next, 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 you'll never be none the wiser. You're not going to open your mind. You're not going to see this. So when they actually do tell the truth one day, you won't be shocked. You'll be like, oh, wow, I was watching this channel one day. It could be any channel, whether it's Jean's, myself, anybody else doing this. And you're going to go, wow, these guys were telling the truth. Or they may never come to complete disclosure. But either way, we're seeing things on here that clearly are not natural. And that's what it's all about, right? Trying to find this stuff. Because again, it's like picking through like a haystack and finding like these little jewels type thing in there, and you're just finding some crazy shit. William Lamont says, "Great channel, Chris, from Australia." Thank you, William. I appreciate you. Like I said, again, stay safe down there. Renee, I just read you. He said stimulus plan paycheck for 1,200 supposed to arrive April 6th in the mail, but my rent's due on April 1st. Fits the last day to pay a. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, Renee, that's why I always try to keep money in the bank, so this way you can just fall back on that if you had to. Not everybody can do that. I'm not rich by any stretch of the means. That's a fact. But the way I look at it is like I try to have a little something in there so I can fall back on it. So I could be out for 2 months, 3 months. It isn't going to matter. I'm pretty much set. Now, I understand where you're coming from sometimes, but if it's only just that $50, it sucks because the last thing you want to do is have to pay that out. You could be putting on groceries, bills, or whatever, right? So kind of leaves you in a spot. And that's why I try to keep at least, a couple months rent ahead or whatever, and whatever you got to do. And this way here, you always have something to fall back on, and just in case, right? You never know. Renee Vaughn, you said would be very nice, Chris, to have a live chat with Jean in the future, and maybe with Jimmy would be amazing too. Yeah, I mean, Jimmy and I have talked. I've actually talked on the phone with him. We were talking about a certain subject and Mars and stuff like that. And he's a down to earth guy. Some people, it doesn't matter where you go or what channel. There's always going to be haters. You guys know that, right? Haters going to hate. And so he'll get his share, just like I do. And but that's fine. Right? It doesn't. Like I said, at one time long ago, it would bother me a little bit. Now I don't go give a rat's ass. I don't care. And even I'm sure even Jean will get that even now and then. Now and then you start to get, because the more your channel blows up, the more you'll start, these trolls will come out of the woodwork. And like I said, that was told to me by I'm going to draw a blank on his name now. Will from over there and What's Up in the Sky. He said, wait until your channel blows up. Watch how many trolls hit the channel. Absolutely. Hmm. So yeah, you'll find that it's going to happen. But yeah, I wouldn't mind getting together any one of these guys and just have like just a chat and stuff like that. What's going on, Your Highness? Good to see you in there. Daniel said it makes me furious, and I tell NASA about it. They make fun of clearly obvious stuff that they can explain and try to say that the whole thing is bogus. They should know they're gonna hear from me. Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, he said Jimmy's been here before. Yeah, he comes in. He'll pop in every now and then, see what's going on. Oh yeah, Mags K. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of hating channels out there, and some of them will actually drum up their own subs to go out and attack a channel. They'll do that. I've ran into that in the past, and I still get, you still get the little influx of these little trolls and stuff like that, thinking they're doing something major, and I think it's just comical. So I just tell you guys, just say troll alert, and I just knock them off and just psh, like they didn't even exist. And basically they don't. Because you said, "Oh, Chris, I'm finding it this funny that we're a great community, but somebody has a real problem with that. Don't worry, we were going to bore them off and bore them off." Well, and that's just sweep them off like a dead fly off a table. That's the way I look at it. Lance Miss Blanco, you said, "But what if NASA is really as dumb as they say they are?" I don't know about that. Um, it's really hard to tell, right? I think they got all of these, like I said, the CGI department. They're doing this, and what it is like it's almost like it's like they're leaving the stuff in there, or they're just going over it so quickly that they're just kind of doing it, and they're just somehow leaving them in. Think about it. How many times have you guys said, "Chris, you missed this"? Now, how do we know that these guys are not looking at these photos so often that they're just missing some of these things? Or because they're manipulating so badly, like the shape of that last thing I did, it was like symmetrical. I had those almost looked like some kind of like twin, like a set of wings. It's just weird. It didn't make any sense. Clearly, that's not a rock the way that thing was formed. It's just, and it's one thing to have like, let's say, a bunch of blocks that fell down off, off a butte or whatever, and it's a bunch of rocks. Then you expect to see broken rocks and just falling down to the base of it. I get that. It makes perfect sense. But when you get things that are like super odd shapes, I mean, where you get like a completely round rock. Let's say there's an area where there's all jagged rocks. What that you expect to see? Jagged rocks. And then all of a sudden you see this smooth out rock. And then, but there's something peeking out of the bottom of it. You know that thing's been manipulated. Clearly there's something in there. Daniel said, I live paycheck to paycheck, so I've been hurting, still going to take weeks to get the check, and a lot of people are hungry. I agree with you. I mean, listen, I mean, I tell people, and I've said this, I think when it's first started outbreak, even if you had to go out and get these, what is it, the little packages of noodles, right? Just to have something, a PB and J sandwich, anything that'll get you through is a plus. It doesn't have to, you don't have to spend a ton of money, right? And a lot of times we do shopping, from week to week as well. So what I did was I said, well, this time, and I told you guys this maybe a hangout or two. What I would do is try to do like, maybe a 2 week shop, maybe a three. So this way you're kind of ahead of the curve. It may leave you broke, but at least you're not going to go hungry. So it's kind of that weird thing. It depends on your situation. And but I tell people, ramen noodles, shit like that. I mean, something that's easy to do. I don't care if it's oatmeal. It's still, it's better than eating nothing, right? Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Custom Tailored One, you said there will be a day when the truth is revealed, whether we learn of it by our government or by unintentional way, perhaps by the aliens themselves. Well, people have said that. Well, what happens if they land on the White House lawn? Maybe they'll believe then. Could be, right? Adam, he said some people just walk around with their mind closed and believe anything their respective government tells them. Thanks to you, Chris, my eyes are now open now. Well, I mean, it's like myself. If somebody tells me something, it's like, oh man, you wouldn't believe this just happened. I'm going to go ahead and check it out for myself, and I'm going to keep looking at it. I'm going to check out different sites. I'm going to see if there's more information I can get, and then come to my own conclusion. The same thing I do with my videos. I say, guys, that's why I give you a link to the photo or the gigapan for you to inspect yourself. You might come up with a different thing you're seeing. You might see many more things, but that's what it's all about. I can't cover everything sometimes in some of these pans. You've seen how big these things are. And what I like to do is like, so you guys might say, well, I've seen something totally different, or I've seen something in addition to what you've seen. And that's what it's all about, right? Um, and, so I give you guys the link so it's not a bogus photo. It is from actual place, whether it be NASA JPL, or a photo from there. So like Neville Thompson, he'll take a bunch of these from NASA JPL and they'll stitch them all together and make these pans. So they are the legit photos. They just happen to be in a gigapan form, and I prefer those because as long as they're somewhat clear, you can see how I had to clear the last one up, the one I just did. But there's so much more in there to see, and now you can get a better perspective if you zoom out how big this thing may be within reason, or where it's at or what it's close to. So it actually helps. So I like the idea of um, having the gigapans. They actually I like them better anyway. Absolutely 0303. BSA is a virus. That's a fact. Exactly, Noodles. Yeah, quest is on. Everything. Question. Well, I should create questions. I guess you put ion everything. Believe peer reviewed science. Exactly. If I'm going to look into something, I'm going to look at. I'm going to see how many other sites or peer review papers. If it's something that's because like I said back in the day, people would ask me, "Oh my God, like 2012, what's going on? We all going to die." I said, stop, stop, stop. I don't stop listening to these channels that are like fear mongering. Just to get the hits and the views. It's not about that. 2012 was a time for enlightenment, not a time for death and destruction, the end of the world. Talk to any, the Mayans themselves, they laughed at it. They were like, what? This is a time for enlightenment. What the hell are these people getting this shit from, right? Hans of Crafts, he said, yeah, I love that you give the links to everything. Well, I want you guys to check it out. That's the whole thing. And because a lot of you guys are actually now got it in Photoshop or maybe it's GIMP or whatever it is software you have, now you guys can really inspect it. And that's why when you get the link, there you go, right? Well, I actually mentioned that earlier, Your Highness. You said any chance, well, you asked any chance coronavirus came from a meteorite which hit China last year, bombshell scientists claim. Well, I seen that, but I thought it was just prior to this. So it would have been last year because it was like what, just before it broke out was what, November, December. They claimed that there was a meteorite that did crash there. Is that a possibility? But what I've read, and I gave a link to this other uh, video here you can check out. This was actually engineered. This was a bioweapon. And I'll drop the link again for anybody who probably missed it. And you can check it out yourself. But it basically is engineered just like the SARS virus as well as AIDS. This shit here. I mean, there you go. I mean, it's a bioweapon basically. Equalizer, where you been? Haven't seen you in a while. So good evening, sir. I hope you and your everyone are well. We must not be blinded by their words. We must see by our actions and our progressive enlightenment. Exactly. That's the way I feel. And when it comes to all of this stuff, I mean, you got to be vigilant on your own, right? You can't just swallow every pill that's thrown out there. You got to just take your time, back off. Is it the truth? Is this whatever channel you watch? Are they blowing smoke up your rear end? How come they don't show links to what they're showing? How come do they have anything to back it up? And that's the whole thing for me. All right, John Wood, good seeing you. If you haven't already jumped off these, said I'm checking out guys and gals. A bit late here now. Greetings all. All right, John, if you're still in there, you have yourself a good weekend there, right? And cheers to you. And then we'll talk soon. Abs0303 said Aussie government has been slow to react to the virus and done many stupid things like letting people off cruise ships with no health check. Ugh, not good. Yeah, that is not good at all. Let me see. All right. Well, what is it? Let me see over here. Mars on Life, you said, I follow you from Italy, and here it seems to get worse day after day, but I am not discouraged because my future has just begun. Hugs to all. Well, I hope you stay safe over there. Mars on Life. Just do it like they say, stay in the house, try to just wait it out, let this thing flat top and then start to drop, and then you'll be fine. Just be safe. Hunter Craft said, "Yeah, exactly, Chris. Perfect way to run this channel too, because the links prove the legitness." Um, but but you kind of said that already. Yeah, but yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, again, it's just like I believe in supplying it. And like I said, when I first started off, I seen like I said, people like Will, they leave the links in there, and that's the proper way to do it because I've been on channels where people go, "Where's the link? How do we know this is legit? I mean, this could be bogus," and that's not what I wanted right from the word go. I said, "No, I need to show the links. I need to at least show where they can get it, even if I just show the page when I very first started off." And then I said, "Well, I need to stop putting the links, and it would actually help, right?" Renee, that's quite a high rent. Oof. You must be living in a big city somewhere. That is a little hard to swallow. It's a big one to do, right? Lance Miss Blanco, he said, "Don't buy into disinformation. It's cheap and easy to buy." Oh, it's 225 where you're at? Noodles? I'm in South Africa. Yeah, how south are you down there? Are you in like East London, right on the tip, or are you further up? I don't know if you're near the coast or where there, but must be nice and toasty down there. Abs0303. Is he still up to that old BS? Crap. Unbelievable. Equalize. He said, did you manage to see the the screenshots I emailed to 2 weeks ago? I'll have to go back and look. To be truthful, like I told everybody, I haven't really had a chance. I work in a big grocery chain store, and it's like been absolutely insane for me for the last 3 weeks to a month. So, I have to go back and check it. To be truthful, I haven't, and I might have seen it. I'm not sure. I have to go back and check it out, but I will. I will do my best to try to find it. I'm not sure what exactly you sent there, Equalizer, but I'll love to be able to see it. Oh, okay, Noodles. I thought you meant you were. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely late for him or early, depending on how you look at it, right? Oh, you're in good old Vancouver, Canada. Yeah, it's been like weird for here. I mean, right now it's 65 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's still quite comfortable. But man, I'll tell you what, it's like now and the next week's gonna be like in upper 40s, low 50s. I'm thinking, really? But it could be worse. Could have 3 feet of snow and minus 5 degrees. Yeah, equalize. If you don't mind, yeah, do that. If you want to resend it, I don't know how difficult it was for you to send the first time, but yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Just make sure you keep that like in the title itself, like your name or whatever. It'll help me, and so I'll know right off the bat it's you, right? Adam's got a question for everybody. How many people here have seen UFOs? UFOs here, Australia, Canberra clear with skies here. You see stuff that you cannot be explained. Hmm. Oh, okay. Equalizer. Huh. So is it a video you've taken, or you said screenshots? Okay. Noodles have seen some. I've seen 8. Saying 10 would be seem crazy. But hey, what about no, what you know as God as extraterrestrial aliens? The secret smoking man on X Files. Yep. James Cameron said he said I had a sighting 12 orbs December of 2014. Hmm. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people because well, is it because people got more cameras now? Everybody has a camera, whether on their phones or is it just regular cameras? It's like back in the 50s and 60s, there might have been people who didn't have as many cameras, so there weren't as many sightings. Is it possible just because we have more phones now? These things might have been going back quite a few times. We might have had as many UFOs in the sky back then. We just didn't know because not. I mean, people would say, oh, "I seen something." People go, "Yeah, whatever." But when now that you're taking photos with regular cameras, really good cameras, and some with on your phones, yeah, I mean, it seems like it's like this big blow up, so to speak, of like all kinds of sightings. Or is it just because just more and more cameras introduced into the population, right? Lots of crowds. You said I sent the photos of Mars to your email tonight to make it easier as possible. Martian spotted as the subject. No rush though. Thanks for all you do. All right, yeah, I'll definitely check that out too. If I don't do it tonight, hopefully, and then my buddy just told me probably won't have to go in until like Sunday for the truck, so that's cool. Be able to relax a little bit, maybe bust out a video tomorrow, and check out some of these emails I haven't been able to actually see. Stella Moore says, saw an orange ball in the sky in 1970 in Portsmouth, England. Hmm. Alan Christina says, I took astronomy in college, have a telescope, and never seen anything out of the ordinary. Hmm. Yeah, I'd love to be able to. I mean, I've got 2 telescopes, but they're very small. They're not very big. I want to get something much larger, just to sit there and just look through the skies and, hook it up to the computer here and just, remote control it and then to see. Because I guarantee you're going to bound to see something, even if it's just meteorites. It's kind of interesting, right? Just see like something just whiz by the sky. That's pretty cool. Um, Roy Searle says, I got to go, everyone. Bye, Chris. All right, Roy, good seeing you in there, man. And stay safe there, right? You just hit my battery back up here. Daniel Webster said, I've had 2 or 3 sightings. I've seen a classic disc with the orange portholes. I've seen 2 boomerang shaped objects. The strangest thing, though, was a giant square that I've seen miles across. That would kind of freak people out, wouldn't it? See, I don't think that's the thing. A lot of people see now, how many people do you know that do this? They just sit there and stare at the sky. They don't. They don't even look at the sky. They don't even think nothing of it. They get out of the car, they jump in it, they go to work. And most people don't even think to just say, "Hey, I think I'm just going to take it easy." Whoop, knock the mic over here. Let's just take it easy. Just look up at the night sky and just check it out. No, not too many people do that. They just kind of like, just go about their day. They don't think of scrutinizing everything around them. I'm not saying go totally crazy with it, but still, it's just like you just want to like look around because you're curious. Inquiring minds want to know. Yeah, I'm glad I got a little time off too, the arts and crafts. Yes, it's not going to be. It's going to be short lived because, like I said, I'll have the one day off and then I'll be back at it again. Yeah, Pete. Yeah, yeah. You got a day to rest. Yeah, I mean, I won't know how to act if I have to get up later than 5 a.m. Glenn says, I saw a light rise from some woods in the distance from our home in '08. Within a minute, there were three military helicopters giving chase. My son and daughter were weirded out for a long time. Yeah, that would kind of do it because you're sitting there like looking at this thing and what the hell is that? Then you see it. And I've had many people say that to me. They're like, well, you don't understand, man. I've just seen this weird thing in the sky. All of a sudden, you see these helicopters or jets like fly right next to it, and all of a sudden it just takes off. And yeah, just really crazy, right? Photography light magic. Most people can't see by their next sheet of toilet paper. Well, that's a fact. Alan, you said I got a telescope that tracks, so I have watched planets for long hours and never ever seen anything suspicious. But who knows, right? Yeah, I mean, sometimes it doesn't. You may not even see anything for the longest time. And some people have done that. They said, "Listen, I look at the stars. In other words, I look at the planets as well. I look at all different stuff, and I'm really, really, I just love doing that. And then they'll just boom, one day they're going, I just seen something totally unexpected. I don't know what it is, and then it could be anything from satellite passing out in orbit and as you see it go by, it could be something that's inside, close to the actual teller. It could be a bug. Zoom. Oh, I think I just seen a UFO. So they're not sure. They're just saying, I just don't know what it is. And then there's some people say, listen, I've seen stuff close to the moon, or I've seen things that are weird going just out in space, not even near a planet. But you can't tell what this stuff is. But that doesn't mean there isn't something crazy going on out there either. You know what I mean? Adam says, I can recommend Meade telescope, go to tracking, seeing stuff that objects going different ways very fast. Stella, you said when we would get disclosure, everyone knows that there's aliens out there. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you would think they would just come out and say it, but I think they're just afraid of what's going to happen. I think they just figured it's going to be a total social breakdown. It's going to be everybody's going to lose their minds. I don't know. Uh, Maybe they just think we can't handle the truth. And at some point, like I said, when you start to see the way people react to what's going on in this coronavirus, you just go, okay, this is basically a just different strain of flu, people. Now it can be more serious as far as the way it could kill you, but what flu hasn't and kills many people. Now, whether it surpasses it, it's still a point. It still kills, right? So to me, it just seems like okay, if they're freaking out as simple as this stuff, what's gonna, I don't know. They're probably thinking, how the hell would these people react to actual something that's on another planet? I don't know. We Geekle, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it even correctly. I immigrated to Canada in 1972. Beautiful skies. Then I saw several UFOs, but first saw unusual lights in Vietnam, 66 to 69, but put it down as to military. And that could very well be, right? Dan, you said I sent you a few gigapans to look at as well if you got your email right. If I got your email right. Yeah, it's just Mars Anomalies at AOL.com. Pretty simple. HDOS one AV. You said I've never seen one, but I discount. I'm sorry, but I discount nothing, and that's true. I mean, you got to keep an open mind. Doesn't mean you should believe everything, right? But the thing is, you still want to go. Well, okay, I'll keep an open mind to it and see what happens. So yeah, noodles, cloak them if you got them. Yeah, you're right about that, Daniel. You said you're talking to people that were alive in the 50s and 60s. It was quite rare to carry a camera with you, and only people that did were people that needed it for their job. And that's true. And they were crude back then too, right? Now there was a couple photos back in the 50s that were black and white, but they were actually pretty clear. Some of them like over farms and stuff like that, but very rare did you see anybody. I mean, now it's like everybody's carrying around something that's got a camera in it. Um, I mean, I don't care if it's been, dash cams. I mean, dash cams, cell phone cams, regular cameras, you name it, right? Moonder06 Skywatcher, you said. Well, where did it go? Hello from France. Stay safe, USA. You do the same over there, man. Just try to stay indoors. If they got you in lockdown, and just stay there. Just, you know, watch out for the family, you and the family. That's the way to go. Equalize, he said, I've never seen so much. I'm going to kind of, edit this, so to speak. He said, I've never seen so many scared people react to the virus. The younger population has been so protected from the reality of the world. Everything is a threat to them, even words. Well, that's true. I mean, they've becoming to the point where they're just like, oh my God, about everything. And it's just like, there's really no need for it. Now, again, I don't, say this is not severe. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't worry about it. Just go about your day. I said, be concerned about it and just take the steps that they tell you to, like keep your distance, keep locked in your house for now, and just take it easy, like it's a vacation. That's the way I look at it, like it's a staycation, and just chill out, if you can, you know. But people, yeah, they just totally worry about everything nowadays. It's crazy how they are. So you guys are going back and forth here. But it literally has been 3 hours and 41 minutes, guys. And we're just gonna drop off this now. We're gonna get off. Got some things I got to get done here myself before I hit the sheets. So, but it's been awesome spending time with you guys. I know a lot of you guys are on lockdown. Unfortunately, I wish I was. To be truthful, some of you guys are like, "Oh, I wish I was back at work," and somebody's like, "Oh, are you kidding?" Like me, I'm like, I could use a good 2 or 3 weeks vacation. I'm down. But it's just awesome spending the time with you guys. And like I said, I know you guys are a lot of lockdown, but you'll be better off for it. Trust me. Just like I said, just heed the warning. Don't go buck wild spending every dime you have just to buy something on groceries. It's crazy. The stores ain't closing. You don't have to worry about that. But I'd be very cautious with your family and yourself when you're going out. Just stay away from. If you have to go real early in the morning where there's no people, or hardly any people, or very late at night, and do it that way, it'd be a lot easier if you had to go out. This way, hey, there's a lot less people around you and coughing and sneezing and every other darn thing. So just be safe there, and look out for your family and yourselves. But yeah, so anyway, guys, good spending the time with you guys. I wanted to go a little bit later because I know a lot of you guys are on. I think you guys even said it. Man, it's just nice to watch a video because I'm on lockdown and stuff like that. So it's good to spend the time with you guys. And I know a lot of you guys are cooped up and it kind of sucks. But yeah, like I said, look at it like a staycation, just chill. Like I said, I wouldn't mind it. But anyway, guys, always a pleasure. And, you guys are awesome. The support is awesome. I couldn't ask for a better community. Trolls, suck it. And things like that. And like I said, it's just a great bunch of people. That's the way I look at it. So cheers to everyone, and thanks for everybody being here, sharing your thoughts and stuff like that, and um, just a concern too about me and my family, and I hope everybody else does the same. That their families are doing well, and just take the precautions, man. Heed the warnings, and because we're the you're the best advocate for yourself. Just watch out what you do. Just stay the hell out of the way of this thing, man. It's just crazy. So everybody, like I said, I know some of you guys are Sunday morning already, but have a good weekend and chill out. And like I said, I'm going to bust out and try to get another video out for you guys tomorrow. You'll have something to watch. I'm going to try to get two others out too. I've got still on the back burner. I'm trying to get out. Haven't been able to. It's been crazy here. So I'm really trying to do this, and because I like spending time just in front of the computer, just seeing all kinds of crazy stuff. But I've been inundated with so much BS at work and the craziness going on that you don't have time to breathe the right way, let alone actually work. So, yeah. So, everybody's saying, slam that like button before I take off. But anyway, guys, stay safe, be good. Thanks for joining me. Thank you all so much for your support. You guys are awesome. I love you guys all. And just again, just chill and stay at home and enjoy just chilling out. That's the way I look at it. But anyway, guys, thanks for being here. You guys are all appreciated, and couldn't ask for a better bunch of people. And you guys are awesome. So everybody take care. Have yourself a good weekend, right? Peace.